new always talking shit show.
Going to our show.
Yo, it's your boy Doc on,
It's your boy Keem Sincere.
and you're in tune with another episode of the Always Talking Shit Show. Apologize about last night. I don't know if y'all.
Nobody's seen that.
We're gonna apologize to a certain viewer.
I ain't saying.
We gonna
It
get
ain't
into
Florida
no
Matt, nigga.
details.
My bad.
Our bad Florida Matt, because
We did that.
We didn't realize, like, he let me know, like, yo, situation, you out in the middle of nowhere getting your bag, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just let us know, like, this.
Shout out my Dukes all the way from Brooklyn, holding
so,
us down
we
always.
apologize for fucking up your night, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? we apologize for messing your night up, bro.
We got you, man, for not coming through, bro.
We gonna make it up tonight, though. We got structure tonight.
We on our best behavior, man. We on our best behavior.
Oh, shit. So I wanted to talk about R. Kelly, man. And we're going to catch a lot of flack from a lot of the women we know and things like that, and we understand that. But this is the Always Talking Shit show. We're going to get our shit off.
Yeah, man, some women going to agree.
All right, I get it. If what is saying happened, this shit's still alleged to me. Just like niggas just so gung-ho about the Bill Cosby shit and what we learned in the end about that. False. So it's still all alleged to me. And y'all could feel how you want to feel about me at that point by saying that. Be like, oh, you got daughters? Woo-de-woo-woo. Like, that could be your argument all day. But it's just like, it's just levels to a lot of this shit. It's like there's no statute of limitations on. Me and him was talking about this earlier. There's really no statute of limitation on saying a woman saying that you touched them. And he like made a point. He's talking about me because I do music and shit. He's like, nigga, you could get on tomorrow and 10, 15, 20 females from back when you was on your frivolous, just throwing a penis out there, things like that. And say you touched them on some goofy,
Or just say it wasn't consensual.
right? And then now I'm
Say that they were under the influence.
Yeah, it's bad for me.
Molly, EDMA is the new Quaalude.
It's bad for me. Like and then it's like, okay,
Xanax and all that shit y'all be
and
taking.
it's like I do these things at Burning Man. Okay, say I'm famous and I'm at Burning Man, we pop a pill together.
Say now you're famous and you go off past existence.
Past Burning Man things. I gave some acid, a pill, something like that. Something for us to have fun. You know what I'm saying? And we did our thing. Now, years later, I'm famous. Maybe we done fell out. Maybe we didn't end on the best of terms.
Or maybe you just rich and famous and they're not. They're broke.
I'm just saying, like, I'm giving it.
I feel you.
Just, some context like that. Like,
there's a million variables to this.
And at any point, somebody can just, that man sexually assaulted me 10 years ago.
So my thing is too, bro, like, to that, we hear people speak to that, all right? And I think there's a lot of women that agree with that sentiment.
And now, hold on. Like,
Okay.
I don't mean to cut you off. I do need to say
Finish
this.
what you're saying.
I do need to say this. I do not condone, neither does this man, sexual assault on women,
minors,
or
male.
men, women, kids, anything. We do not condone that shit. Sex trafficking, pimping, we are not fans. We don't fuck with that. I got daughters.
Right.
So understand I'm saying this from a place of a dad, of girls, of a 15-year-old at that. I have a 15-year-old daughter. She'll be 16 in January. So you're talking girls of the age range that this man is allegedly sexually assaulted and did things to, held hostage, held captive. But how many of these women are going to walk this back in 5-10 years?
If need be, right.
You feel me?
So
this man's facing the rest of his life and natural life in prison over what he's now been convicted of.
Right. And if he's guilty of it, then he should be, right?
Right.
Okay, so we agree there.
We definitely agree there. If he did it, absolutely. But look what we just saw happen with fucking Bill Cosby. And I'm supposed to believe this shit's right. Like, this is a righteous thing right now.
Bill Cosby is just a recent example.
Yeah, that's just the most recent high profile.
So
you know what I'm
fam,
saying?
this is where I stand on like in turn. This is why I said I was like iffy about discussing this, man, and like I'm fearful of this topic. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, but one of the things. What's up, Monty Loretta? One of the things I will say is this: is as a black man in America, I fear what I see in the Kelly trial.
Right.
I fear what I see in the trial of Dr. Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
And what people didn't understand when I was speaking out against that before is they quick to say, "Oh, you're defending this, or you're making excuses for this." I'm not doing any of those things.
Bro, we had a whole argument with our
I
co-host that we used to have.
I'm not doing
Shout
any.
out Dio.
Shout out Dale. I'm not doing anything like that. What I'm saying is, as a black American man,
Right.
if when a police officer or just some white dude taking it upon himself jumps out of line, murders one of us, right, in cold blood, sometimes even it's documented.
Yeah.
All I hear from white people is the rules that allow them to get off.
God,
All I hear, wait, hold on. All I hear from people is that, well, no, well, under the law, that was the rules.
Complied.
It was a jury of his peers, even though there was all 9 white women and all these different little nuances, right? And I'm just wondering, well, how come Harvey Weinstein wasn't considered the head of a RICO? Right? How come have we ever heard of a man being accused of sexual crimes
and racketeering
being hit and so when I hear that, hey fam, when I hear that, my mind, the way I work, I don't care what nobody says. My mother taught me to think for self, and I won't ever apologize for that. I literally stop to myself and think like, well, even if you did get creative, which I don't mind the district attorney and the prosecution and the federal government being creative to put away criminals.
Right.
I just get weirded out when they only do it to put away criminals or alleged criminals that look like me.
We got a story coming up later
if
about
you
the same
cannot,
shit on the racketeering.
If you cannot prove a man guilty by the laws that are set before the land, then he's innocent.
And stop raising
so
the bar till you can
stop,
prove him guilty.
Stop moving the goalposts, right?
Stop moving
and raising the bar. It both applies.
You
like
know
what
what I'm
happens
saying?
is
Stop
like I'm
doing
like,
that.
and so it's very tricky to have this conversation because you don't, as a man, hey man, I support women.
All day,
I don't
every
ever
day.
want to come off like. And hell, I mean, I love Kel's music like everybody.
Right.
But I wasn't the hugest R. Kelly fan where I'm just out there protesting his guilt or innocent. This is not
Right.
what this conversation is.
Not at
I
all.
don't know if he's guilty or innocent.
It's all-
I know that he's
yeah.
been found guilty now, but I don't know if that's true or not. But what I'm saying is, and I could even go with what society says. If okay, he's guilty, he's guilty. But the way in which he was found guilty, I don't care if you're being honest
Move the
and you've
goalposts
paid
every time
attention
they could.
to the trials of Dr. Bill Cosby, followed by one R. Kelly. You can't feel comfortable with that but when you're a white person, when you're a female of any race,
Right.
you're not really afflicted by this. But I know my history, and I know that hundreds of black slaughters have started with the accusal of a black male being a sexual predator.
Right.
It's always the young black.
And
It's always the
you
black
said
male
this earlier, it's not in
that's
our nature.
sexually inept. That's that's aggressive. That's horny all the time. They did that to Emmett Till. Now I don't ever want to sound like black women shouldn't be protected. I do understand the disparity in black women's sexual assaults being reported and tried versus other women.
Right.
So I want to say that too because we understand that. I'm sympathetic to that. I support that. However, when we look at this R. Kelly case, and I get it, that's what they do. That's great. Hey man, with black Americans, all you gotta do is accuse them of touching a child or raping a woman, and black people will stop fucking with them.
Yeah, we'll take their black card and cancel them all
Black
day.
people will cancel them because we don't play that shit.
Right. We don't.
Right?
That's not cute to us.
And
nigga.
it happens in every community and every culture, but black people are very, very much against that, and we speak out against that. And I'm not saying we're perfect, but that's just something that the powers that be knows that you can do to a black man. You say he's sexually deviant, say that he's molesting a child, and his own support system, the very people that he represents in the culture, will turn
walk
their
away
back
from
on him.
him
He'll
in a
become a
heartbeat.
meme. He'll become a joke. He'll become, food for fodder, right?
Right.
So now what happens with that is everybody's like, oh yeah, man, we've been hearing about R. Kelly. But he went to a federal trial and won.
And then we're still here again.
And then what happens is they
the
bring
same thing
back
to
up
Michael Jackson.
Hey man,
bro.
they bring back
Jesus.
up. They bring Aaliyah up. They bring up all these other people, and it's just like, man, I listened to that trial when the man said that, unbeknownst to R. Kelly,
right,
he and Barry Hankinson decided that they were gonna go document her, falsely document her age, so that they can be married because it was, presumably better for her career and her look. Right. Now, to fit the narrative, I've heard that story before, but to fit the narrative here, they're just saying, oh, it's because she may or may not have been pregnant. In the court of law, I need it to be fact-based.
It's fact-based. That's hearsay.
And I only say that, not that I'm some
hearsay.
Component of the law, and I think we got the greatest justice system. It's that's all we have.
Right, yeah.
And I can't afford for nobody to just be like, oh, Akeem did this, Dre did that, and then my people
just leave
turn on me.
Everybody.
And if you don't believe me, this is the same thing that Tupac Amaru Shakur said when he got hit with that rape charge. See, the funny thing is we pick and choose. Y'all don't want to cancel Tupac's music, but Tupac was found guilty of raping a girl
Mike Tyson
and all that shit
we
as
didn't
well.
Cancel him.
So, I'm just personally a person that I'm going to play the music I play.
Right.
Because I can play music all day of a black man talking about how he would kill me, nigga, if he was broke and hungry and needed it.
Exactly.
And call me nigger, call my mama, and all the women that look like me, bitches and hoes. And everybody's cool with that. Even these social media platforms. You never get a sensitive to the community violation when you say, man, fuck this bitch ass nigga.
There's a whole song and I like the song. Don't get it twisted. This ain't a knock against the song. Pooh Shiesty song, Get It Back in Blood, is about a whole song of, man, killed you and your mans, nigga. Come get
what
that
about
shit
the song, My
Nigga,
My Nigga? So I'm just saying, bro, like, we just got to be honest.
And and it's fucked up. I like those songs.
Me
so
too.
I'm not picking on those songs because I don't like. I DJ'd my niggas in rotation. I wanted to hear that once a night, my nigga. Same with what song we just say?
Back in Blood.
Back in Blood, nigga. I like that song now. Like, cool, catchy beat, nigga. It's cool. But like he said, we're listening to music about killing each other and doing the dirtiest shit to people and degrading black women and not holding, you know what I'm saying, not teaching any type of fucking knowledge and wealth and shit like that.
And then the second thing I want to add to that catalog piece is if people can look at me or judge me if I ride down the street and an R. Kelly song happens to be playing, right? If I'm judged off that, then can you listen to Celine Dion, Michael Jackson, B2K, I could just name all the artists that he's wrote for that we love their music and we listen to it.
Yeah, because people.
I just think it's corny.
People stop at the line of that. That'd be like, okay, I hope this never happens to this man. I'm knock on wood. That'd be like if the Dream get hit with one of these, right? They'll cancel his songs.
They'll want to, yeah.
But not realize you got to cancel Single Ladies. Right. That man has so many writing credits. I'm taking somebody that has so much behind the scenes shit going on. He's got so many writing credits. You would have to cancel some of your favorite songs ever, nigga.
Yeah.
Ever. And I'm talking about
Lady
women.
Gaga.
How many women, all the single ladies is y'all shit? 99% of y'all. Let's be real. Right. Catchy. I'm not saying I don't like the song. Catchy song. I'm just not a lady, so it ain't for me. But if I'm DJing the club and the club is jumping, I see a bunch of female. Right. Please believe.
I'm playing that.
Right. It's going to go dummy.
It's a go-to.
But here's what you got to understand. You got to if you're going to try and cancel somebody, you have to cancel everything connected to them.
And I'm not into the picking and choosing.
We can't. Yeah.
Like, hey man, I live in a country where racist, pedophilic murderers are on my money. Mm-hmm. They're carved in the mountains. Yeah. There's monuments of them. Hey, we have holidays. Fam, what are we talking about? Because if it's 2021 and we're like, oh, it's 2021, you got to cancel this nigga. Right. Well, we got to cancel all that shit, and I don't want to talk about heritage or nothing.
Well, let's say this. Okay, they want us to stop. All these women are gonna stop listening to R. Kelly, right? How many of them stop watching Harvey Weinstein movies?
You can't.
Right.
You can't. See, that's the thing. I remember thinking, hey, let me be an honest story. Honest to God story. Like, I'm hearing about the Harvey Weinstein thing, and I'm like, yo, that's sick, man. Yep. I can't. So I'm not supporting this shit. I'm not watching any movie with his stamp on it.
I couldn't watch a lot of movies.
Do you know, fam? My whole personal collection of DVDs.
The company is all over it.
I'm talking about movies from everything from fucking anime
Yeah.
to fucking street shit.
Yeah.
I mean, street shit that I ain't even know.
Weinstein
Like, how the fuck did
Company
Weinstein do the Shotters remix and all this other shit? Like, all these other things,
in
like.
so many movies, bro.
So I just realized then, oh, okay, that's what they mean when they say you got to separate the art from the individual.
Exactly.
If you can't, hey man, there's some
Then you
country ass,
get rid of it all
redneck
the
ass
way.
artists that thrive on racism and white supremacy. I'm never listening to your music. I don't care.
I'm not.
I can't.
didn't
I'm not
like,
listening to
Okay,
that.
I didn't like Justin Bieber before he told me he was racist.
Right.
So I'm extra. Would never listen to the man's music. I don't even play him in the club no more.
My thing is, whether you're white, black, yellow, or green, if I can see the machine behind you, I typically don't follow your music. Look, I come from a hip hop culture that's anti-machine.
Right.
The whole nature of being black in America, where hip hop thrived from, even though black people are universal and we welcome our culture with everyone. Fam, this shit is about anti-system.
Yeah. That's
Anti-machine.
what it started on. That's
So,
what it started on. That's
when
what
I can
Def
see the
Jam was
machine-
built on. Was
When I can hear the machine,
Right.
when I'm like, oh, so-and-so wrote this song.
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear, I guarantee you so-and-so wrote this.
Right.
Oh, I guarantee, that's so-and-so beat. I don't care who's in front of me performing it.
Bro, look at
You
I had to
lose
go
a
back.
lot.
I had to go back talking about ghostwriting and bodies of work. Go and listen back. Still DRE.
Ho.
When I sat there and closed my eyes
That's
after I heard
Jay-Z.
the story, I'm like, that's Jay-Z.
Now let me tell you the story.
Day, bro.
Being the kid from Brooklyn that study Hov, I'm sitting in the car right here in Las Vegas,
You
dog,
knew it.
and I'm
'Cause
like,
you-
we
you
bumping this
studied
shit is
Hov,
new.
yeah.
I got my head down. I'm like, yo, what an album? This that old school shit.
Right.
Yo, what album credits at? Niggas like, why? I'm like, nigga, they was like, why? Nigga, Dre made this beat. I was like, dog,
that's not
Jay-Z
Dre on
wrote
them
this
verses.
shit.
Yep.
Niggas laughed me out the car.
And now until they heard it come out
Until
of
they
Dre
seen
and
that guy,
Snoop's mouth.
until we looked at it and was like, Sean Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Because what he say? He said, Kane wrote the Dre verse, wrote my verse in like 15 minutes.
Snoop said that.
Yeah, and we
That's the thing. I
recorded
ain't even
it.
peeped that he wrote Snoop's verse.
Yeah, he wrote everything on that
That
song.
nigga wrote the whole song in like 5 minutes
If
and was
you
out.
ain't up on things, Dr. Dre ain't still knowing the name.
That's hard.
Hov all day.
That's why he's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, bro. Like,
Still not loving police. Still rock
not
my
fu-
khaki
right.
with the cuff and the crease.
Nigga,
That's
like-
that's if Jay-Z was from L.A. Nigga.
the fact that a Brooklyn nigga wrote that, because to me, I could be biased, but to me, that was some of the hard. That's like one of the hardest Dre songs ever.
Well, let's
to me,
talk
nigga.
let's talk about a Brooklyn nigga writing a song for two LA niggas. How hard is that? Let's really do it. It's enough his prints on it, but it sounded West Coast, nigga.
I know.
To the blind eye, Snoop probably
Nigga,
wrote
it was
that for
LA
Dre.
niggas that didn't know Jay-Z wrote
Right.
that shit. It was LA niggas
That's-
mocking
and
their shit to
think
that like they
about
didn't
how
know.
hard that is to do.
That's hard to
A
do, bro.
Brooklyn nigga.
That's hard to
death,
do.
nigga. Where's Jay-Z from? You ask him tomorrow, the next day, Brooklyn, nigga.
Right.
BK, son. Like
Old
Marcy
Brooklyn.
Projects, bitch. Like,
Old
you know what I'm
Brooklyn.
saying? Right, old
And so, like,
Brooklyn.
it's-
Marcy, nigga.
That's just crazy, dog. When you think about it, I always thought that was crazy, but it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And see, now we're in a space. These niggas is legacy acts where they'll tell the secrets. It was a time Snoop wasn't quick to tell that
he
story.
was never gonna tell that
Now nigga, shit, I was in the studio. Hov come through, and he tell the story like it's nothing.
because
now.
that's a trophy. To say you had Hov came and wrote a hit for you,
and that's a trophy now.
Yeah.
Like at that time,
you know,
nigga,
it
y'all
wasn't
contemporaries.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now that's like Jay-Z could write me. I'm a dope with the pen.
Jay one of the few niggas that you.
But
yeah.
if Jay came was like, nigga, I feel like you'll blow up if we do this, nigga. All right,
Hey, but let's talk about that though.
fuck
Because
it,
as
Jay.
legendary as Hov's pen is,
Fuck it, Jay. Let's do it.
as legendary as Hov's pen is, we all seen the Black album, Fade to Black, where Kanye comes in there and he says it to him. Kanye gives his little spiel and he's like, Hova, Hova. He's like, man, it's gonna be like a victory lap, like the encore, like you leaving and it's all come back, Jay, come back to the stage. And everybody was laughing and Hov was like, go ahead. And he kept talking and kept talking. He's like, man, I'm gonna just play it for you. And he played that shit, and you could see Jay rocking out. Encore, do you want more? Cooking raw with that Brooklyn ball. Kanye wrote that. He wrote that to sell him on the beat and was just like, yeah, you could just do something like this on it. But Kanye knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
he knew that shit was
Kanye.
fire.
Mm-hmm.
And when Hov heard that, Hov look, he sat back and was like, "That's money. Leave a hook on it."
Yep.
That nigga went in there and recorded it right then and there.
Yep.
So it's
if Kanye could. I love Kanye. Right.
He's a creator.
I'm not a fan of his music right now. Donda was a good album.
Yeah, that shit's hard.
I'll give it to you. I listened to it again, and I'm like, I
hard.
want the beat to drop, but once I like stopped wanting the beat to drop and just
listen
let
to what
it
he gave
be,
you. Yeah,
I was like, all right, I can.
And you can hear the drop, like how he tried to simulate the beat drop.
Right, but the Kanye I ain't the biggest fan of, could come give me a hook.
You know what I'm betting
and
on though?
I'm running.
You know what I'm betting on with Kanye?
Like,
I'm betting that the judgmental Christian world that is of Christianity, they won't give him no love for making gospel music.
They won't.
They shitted on Ye, on what's that shit called? The gospel album, the first one, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They shit Jesus is King. They shitted on Jesus is King, and even though that was an all the way gospel album, he had niggas pulling off the album because they was like, bruh, you tripping, nigga. I'm not rapping about that. And I said this. But what he did that was smart because Kanye is an actor, an active innovator, and he's an artistic genius. He sat back and he learned from his mistakes and was like, oh, okay.
I can't give you.
You niggas, the real gospel, to me, this is why I don't like, and I've said this before and I'm going to leave it alone because I don't want to sound like I'm bashing the art form. Growing up in church, I had my favorite hymns. But as my mind became to awaken to things, and I started to like grasp the knowledge that my mother put in the household that I was raised in, I started saying to myself, I don't think gospel music is gospel music. I think hip hop is. Because when I hear Dear Mama, that shit can squeeze a tear out of me. And it ain't got nothing to do with any indoctrinations or any passed on knowledge or teachings or strict confinements. That's just life. That's just how I feel about my mother. I can relate to that. People can relate to, you can hear it in his voice.
Right.
When I hear Biggie's Juicy, nigga, you're not telling me that's not a testimonial, nigga. That's gospel.
Yeah.
And so in my opinion, I always felt like rock and roll,
R&B music.
jazz music, R&B music, and like rap music was the real gospel because it was the music of the people.
Let's think about
it's testimonials from
music.
people.
I was Cisco, even though it seems I have everything, listen to him testify
I know.
to that woman on that song, bro. Like he was testifying to this woman, bro.
Jimmy Cozier, sometimes I love her.
Right. Dog.
Nigga, that's gospel, dog. Like, I feel like, hey, man, let me tell you something.
Come on, bro.
So, a power structure of a people that meant evil, that gave you a Bible and a religion, that told you that your God-given ability was a sin. Oh, that's worldly music because they can't make it.
Yep.
They can't create it. So that's devilish. Oh, yeah, the greatest angel was an angel that could sing and dance like you niggers. And he turned into being the devil. So I've heard how many great songsters of the past say that they had to choose between their family. We almost didn't get Aretha Franklin, nigga. We almost didn't get Sam Cooke.
Yeah. Oh, that's just devil music to the church.
Like he was considered blasphemous.
Dog,
they was walking out. They was walking out on Ray Charles.
That's a raw
they was calling Ray Charles a devil worshiper.
Bro, that's a raw point that you just made.
Think about it.
You said the beautiful angel could sing and dance like y'all became the devil.
It's the devil.
And now every music we touch is devil.
But look who has the pristine image.
Right.
It's the motherfuckers over there in robes that keep fucking little boys. That stole all of Africa's wealth,
but
nigga.
We don't.
And all of ancient America's wealth.
Okay, we're gonna have to get back and wrap up the R. Kelly issue. But let's
dub. Like we took that. That wasn't a copy. That's just what's going on in the world, man. People want to talk about it.
Let's talk about why every 10 to 15 years do we start talking about the Christian and the Catholic churches touching boys and we just stop talking about this shit.
Every 10 to 15 years?
Yeah, it just seems like
that shit you being way too nice.
Too
that shit is consistent.
It's
been consistent my entire life, nigga.
So like every 3 years, we'll make a fuss out of it.
They'll make a fuss, yeah. It'll make public. Because all they do is shuffle around. Look, hey man, and this is not to disrespect.
I don't want to laugh.
My mother was raised Catholic.
Wild, bro.
My mother was raised Catholic, but at the end of the day, she grew up in Catholic school.
Right.
At the end of the day, we all have the right and the ability and the human desire to evolve.
Yeah.
We evolve every day in our knowledge. Hey, man, a lot of the most devout men of the cloth, if they had the knowledge that black people had in 21, they wouldn't probably be that.
Right.
Martin Luther King might not be a fucking Baptist minister today. He might just be an activist.
Yeah, straight up.
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing to do with church.
He might not do that.
He might feel more like Malcolm X without the church behind him. Because just
hey, man, Louis Farrakhan was one of the nation's greatest violinists. He might have just been a dope-ass musician, nigga, that told it what it was. He might have been like a Jill Scott Heron or something. You know what I mean? We're talking evolution. I have conversations with my mom, who is a retired civil rights activist, and I often would say to her,
Mama Rose.
I would often say to her, fam, like, you know who Malcolm and Martin is now? Hov and Nas, Tupac and Biggie, Mac Dre. Like, it's the E40. 40 Water can tell kids and tell black people something that
you left out a whole.
I'm just throwing out some names.
Public Enemy,
like,
my nigga.
you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about people. DMX was having church.
Oh my God.
Fam.
Okay, if there's one nigga who did gospel rap music, DMX was him.
Come on.
And made it to where we listened to his
fam.
prayers and shit, and we vibed with that shit. I'm not into prayer and all that shit. I wouldn't skip it when DMX did it. When it was his prayer interludes, nigga, them rolled. I never skipped that.
Fam. Okay.
Because it was a man.
Did you see the
who struggled?
No, dog.
Just like I do.
I'm gonna say 2 quick stories.
And nigga,
Go ahead, bro.
Nigga.
I'm gonna tell you 2 quick. I got 2 quick joints, man. My bad. Like 2 things. Hov tells a quick story on the HBO series with The Shop. He's talking about the Hard Knock Life tour. It's a legendary tour because it's the first rap tour that went nationwide. I gotta learn that went nationwide without any R&B or pop acts or whatever to soften it up, right? So it was historic. And he said, you know, they were co-headliners, you know what I'm saying? And he said, so DMX would go on and then Hov would finish the show. He said, and one day he's watching the show when they first started actually touring. And you know, Hov was just a fly nigga that can rap good. That was a boss that everybody wanted to kind of be like, so that was his shtick. He said DMX made him go create a show and become a performer. He said because X went out there, first 3-2 songs, he's running across stage, nigga, full throttle, nigga. He got all the goons and everybody chanting with him like, all the street niggas fired up. He said then the next part, nigga, he take his shirt off, the girls are going crazy.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
right?
I did see that.
He was just like, and then I come back.
Yeah,
he said, then I come back, this nigga is doing a prayer and everybody crying. He was like, nigga, and then they like, yo, Hov, you next, nigga. And that nigga said he come out, nigga, talking about it's a hard knock, like you know what I mean? It's just like he had to go get a show, and he said until he did, he was like, man, I just would go out there and drop the beat and freestyle like I'm the better rapper. I'm rap god, nigga. Fuck it, nigga. Listen, get these bars, nigga, because I can't do none of that shit that he just did. Because he took you to church,
his
man.
stage yeah, he did.
He took you to church.
He did every time.
And that's my thing. Outside,
and
look,
that's one thing I'll be sad
disrespect.
About is that I can't ever see one of those DMX shows live.
The second thing is Eve said that they were on tour overseas. She said, nigga, nobody even speak English, nigga. And 30,000, 40,000 people screaming. He closed out the show, right, with a prayer, right? And, you know, he freestyles these.
Yeah.
He freestyles the prayer. And when he's going through it and shit, nigga, everybody's in tears and they chanting nigga X and they love him. She finds him because they get off the stage last. He runs to the dressing room, like runs through everybody. And he goes in his dressing room, dog, and he's fucking the dressing room up. He's kicking shit and he's screaming, why me? He's yelling at the wall like, you know what I did. Why are you doing this to me? You want to talk about a picture of a man that's tormented between the things he had to do to survive and the blessings he received in the end of that? It fucked him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't understand that, like, nigga, if you niggas knew, this world don't care about black people that move like I do. Why are y'all crying for me? How are you? So why do you love me so much, nigga? Why do I have all this nice shit? I don't get this. This don't make no sense to me. And he struggled with that eternally. Nigga, if that's not gospel, I don't know what is. Because when you're standing there in a pristine suit and you're standing there in a tailored dress and Gucci and Fendi and all that shit, and you're looking like a celebrity, you look like you have no worries, you do everything right and clean cut, right? You're always talking about the positive of everything, and you sing your song about a person that was created to conceal our minds in a way. The stories of Christ, I believe, are real, right? But we know the indoctrination that comes with it. No Christian person will deny that. So when I listen to like these beautiful voices that come out of gospel music, I can't help, the realist in me is just like, oh, nigga, you were scared to compete. The competitor in me is like, nigga, okay, well, if you can sing that good, go write a song and compete with Beyonce. If you're so guided by the light, that light should be writing some of the most relatable songs. Hey, some of the most tormented people of us can shine a light on us. Right. Look at R. Kelly. Look at R. Kelly. There's people that grew up and were conceived to his music, to his art, his contributions. Some people can just dismiss that, but that means they didn't have the connection to it. And that's okay. I never walked around listening to Elvis. I think when I was a kid, I got into a little stretch where I watched like 7 Elvis movies. And I remember niggas in my family kind of looking at me suspect, but they didn't take that from me. They let me enjoy that, think he was cool, and then learn about him. And I've watched white people uplift this man as the creator of something that my people created my whole life. And so that's okay. Y'all can do that. Because I listen to white teachers tell me how great George Washington was. This is what I'm talking about. This is why these conversations should be had, but they're not had enough. And because they're not had enough, we become fearful of it. They become weaponized. Man, my feelings are still hurt from a particular young lady that invoked my mother and sister's name when chastising me for saying that Bill Cosby case wasn't a fair case, that it wasn't even a legal case. That didn't seem right. I was reading through this and I just never heard of there's so many things that just don't make sense. How do you have 30 women that it hasn't even been proven that they've had interaction with him, like be able to testify that he did something to him in a case pertaining to a handful of, it's just you don't get to have a case about a man that killed a man, right? He's fighting for a murder trial. You don't get to, a lot of times they won't allow you to bring in the fact that they didn't let the prosecution bring up the fact that George Zimmerman had assaulted a police officer and was on record as a fucking womanizer that beats his wife.
Right.
She was divorcing him.
It's because they don't.
Before Trayvon, she was divorcing him for being abusive.
It's because they don't ever criminalize white people, bro.
But
they
the thing
never
is,
will, bro. Anytime, like,
right.
it always takes me back to the fucking Brock Turner case, my nigga. The nigga rapes a girl behind and leaves her in a fucking dumpster. Evidence of
He's
it.
caught
rape kid,
in the midst of raping her.
Fucking red-handed.
Niggas have to pull him and his penis out of her.
And they champion this fucking teen. No, he's 19. I ain't gonna call him a man. He champion this pussy ass boy.
No, he's a man. Cause I've heard nigga Trayvon Martin was decided.
Yeah.
George Zimmerman fights a man that like nigga. He's a man.
Let me treat him like a man then. So they champion this bitch ass nigga. I know I've been trying to work on my cousin,
good,
but I have nothing less. I have nothing else to say about this. They champion this bitch ass nigga. We don't want to tarnish his fucking school.
The judge.
Judge saying this bullshit. But we get drugged through the fucking mud. When fucking Mike Brown died, all we heard was he's a
Swisher
bad
Sweets.
kid.
He stole Swishers.
Swishers. He's a fucking gangbanger.
Hey, but he was on his way to college the next day.
Come on, bro. Like, I'm so sick of the criminalizing of us and the fucking championing of fucking white people. And it's nothing against fucking white people, but goddamn it, white people, is you guys are not realizing the shit that that just is here.
You shaking?
Oh, my bad.
No, you good. I feel you.
I keep hitting.
Now you was in your shit. But what I'm gonna say is this though. I'm gonna add a wrinkle to that. It don't even have to be and I'm not trying to come behind you and clean nothing up. But what I'm saying is that like, what I'm starting to realize, bro, this is a unique black issue that black Americans go through. Yeah. Nobody else is going through this shit.
Goes through this.
So I don't want to hear all that minority shit, nigga. No, nigga, this is a black issue, nigga. That and so what happens is I, as a black American man, I have to look at this. I have to look at things skeptically. When I'm seeing, like, now all of a sudden a white district attorney, a whole slew of them, the FBI, several different agencies are concerned that this black predator is damaging and doing all these things to these black women. Right. When I've seen him beat a case, and I've seen the tape with him pissing on that girl, right? And you didn't give a fuck. Y'all didn't care
because it was happening to a black girl.
I see R. Kelly do an interview talking about. And he came out with a song where he admitted that because he was illiterate, they stole nearly $500 million worth of publishing from him, and he wants it back. Then all of a sudden, nigga, Surviving R. Kelly comes on. Now my problem with Surviving R. Kelly, and I fought with my ex-girlfriend about this because she was like not trying to hear that. But what I was like, okay, this just don't seem weird to you, but I let it go. I watched it.
It's because they don't want to think that because we're just comparing.
And it's because what they got us is that black women are tired of getting shitted on, and they're tired of their hurts and their abuse not being reported. So sometimes they like, nigga, I don't care. He guilty, right? So now I get all that. But what I'm saying is, then there was another Surviving R. Kelly, right? Part 2. The problem I had with this, and I was a fan of Dream Hamptons. But the problem I had was like, yo, there was a lady that just testified at court, and she's in the documentary. And in court, nigga, his lawyer asked, have you ever been around R. Kelly? Have you ever physically been in his presence? Do you know him? Have you ever met him? She said no. How are you on a documentary called Surviving R. Kelly?
But you never survived
giving your
R.
testimonial of how you got raped. But R. Kelly didn't rape you. Now, I'm sorry, sister, that you got raped, and too many women have been sexually assaulted. Too many.
You can't just point the finger.
Hey, too many men have been sexually assaulted.
Right.
And they think it's just because they look good or they had a big penis.
Right.
It thinks because they were more mature than the other guys. No, that older bitch raped you.
Yep.
No one cares about it though.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have that moment.
So I'm just saying, when I seen that, I'm like, wait a minute. And then everyone keeps telling me, nah, Keem, he was fucking kids. But I'm like, okay, well, when I watched the Surviving R. Kelly, and they won't tell us who the women are that testified in court.
Yep.
They're all of age.
Yeah, no, so they are. And they're like
and I'm not sounding creepy like, oh, they're 18. These are all grown ass women.
Like my age women.
I just seen one of the women that was a star witness and a victim.
Yeah.
I just seen her curse out Gayle King, nigga. Like, bitch don't be asking me about my sex life, nigga.
Right?
What about you in the bed? Well, I'm very satisfied and happy. I just seen that. I just seen all this. Like, bro, I don't understand it. And then as a man that doesn't have children, but would die and kill for his family, I don't understand how you telling me that this man had your daughter trapped in this room, in this building, and he was able to do that. Nigga, everybody that comes out of that building is getting smoked.
Right. You knew where she was.
What do you mean?
Nothing about it.
I'm shooting my way in that bitch.
Right.
In the trial, they say that one of the times that he's allegedly with one of these alleged victims, she's underage. She said that she had a fake ID and told Robert that she was older and all that shit. Okay,
right, so
hold on. Whether you believe that or not, okay, whatever. So what? But the police are called because they have a fight. Mm-hmm. The police come, investigate the domestic disturbance, do everything, and no, they leave. And then she continued to have sex with him. Now she's testifying that he made her have sex and do some weird shit that she ain't want to do, and he's a pervert and all this shit. The police then came. They're there for over an hour, and she didn't leave with the police. And then, not only did she not leave with the police, in her testimony, she continued said sexual act. Now I understand. I understand, dog, how people that are victimized by people can show acts of loyalty
and loyalty and affection.
I understand what that is, but dogs, hey, this is where I agree with WAC 100. There has to be a time where even kids, have to heed the lessons that their loved ones and their families taught them, and have to make good decisions. Okay? You can easily say, oh, I robbed that bank, but I was young. No, nigga, you did a stupid ass thing.
No matter
right?
What the fucking
now,
age
I'm not putting that on a child that is raped.
Right.
Obviously, we're excluding that.
Right.
Because we all agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that at 14, 15, in certain states you can't consent. But I do also live in Nevada where at 16 a woman can consent.
Consensual.
A kid can consent to having sex.
Not to saying that's still gross.
I didn't say it was right. Hey, look, at the end of the day, if we want to call a spade, white men are responsible for all these rules.
They are. Let's be real.
So
Niggas
what I'm saying to you is like, how do we look? Like I put up the post about Elvis, nigga. You know, I never thought about Elvis woman being 14. I heard about it, but I didn't really care because I was like, oh, back in the day they did wild shit like that. I left it at that, like everybody else do. But one day on a YouTube binge, I come across a video with Priscilla Presley telling her story. And she sounded like a person that survived Elvis.
Surviving Elvis Presley. We ain't gonna get that.
She said that at 14 years old, her parents, because of his clout, his wealth, and their financial needs, signed over guardianship to him, where he was able to groom her and travel her around the world as his girl. Now, white fans of his will tell you, oh, well, he didn't start having sex with her until she was 22. Well, nigga, what are you talking about, bro? Let's say even if that is true, that's nasty.
Nasty as fuck.
Hey, if R. Kelly really is getting like permission slips signed from these girls at 14, 15 years old to start being around and traveling with him, that's fucking nasty.
On both sides.
But every
On
adult,
mom's, dad's
every
side,
adult
and
that cast a check, that made money, got royalties,
They're
nigga, off of
just
R.
as
Kelly,
wrong.
should be a part of the RICO.
Right. But they won't.
Hey, 6ix9ine snitch. So that means that everybody else went to jail. Nobody, no, nigga. There's a lot of people that didn't go to jail.
Yeah.
Like CEO Chris didn't go to jail, but nigga, he snitched. The only people in the Treyway case that's not in jail are the people that told. So I'm just like, nigga, how in the fuck is it that all these people, even the people that are testifying that they did things behind his back against his knowledge, whether you believe them or not, they're testifying to that under oath. So that's what you're taking as word. They're not even incriminating him in their testimony. But when you hear it on the news, they're like, oh, over 50 witnesses. Janice Dickinson fucked one of my friends.
Crazy.
Janice Dickinson fucked one of my friends, right? He was younger than her, but they were grown and it was consensual.
Right.
But that's how he was. I'm not even gonna put that information out there because that'd be too much. But you know who you are. You hit those, right? This bitch gets paid to testify against Bill Cosby, and I'm calling her what I call her. And then less than 2 months, 3 months later, she's on a circuit getting paid for interviews where she's admitting that he never raped her, that never had sexual intercourse. Nigga, she wanted to be on a record label that he owned as a singer when she was one of the like top supermodels.
And the bitch couldn't sing.
She couldn't sing. The people at the record label was just like, nah, Bill, we can't do nothing with her. And nigga, he was just like, oh, well, it's not, the opportunity's not going to go through. Sorry. That was the extent of that. She got paid for this, bro. Why isn't she not in jail?
Right.
Because there's a history of white women doing this to black men and causing them bodily harm and other things.
What, Central Park 6, Central Park 5?
Bro, you can just name a bunch. Just keep naming them.
Emmett Till. We ain't gonna get in on that deep on it, but
So I'm just saying, fam.
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say all what we said to say this. Stop canceling motherfuckers if you ain't gonna cancel every fucking body who's involved in any type of bullshit like this. And stop telling motherfuckers and getting mad when we say we're not gonna stop listening to R. Kelly. We're gonna keep watching A Different World. We're gonna keep watching The Cosby Show. We're gonna keep watching Leonard Part 6. We're gonna keep watching Ghost Dad. Because until you're ready to cancel everybody that should be canceled, just shut the fuck up.
Like Thomas Jefferson,
George
motherfucker.
Washington,
So
Abe Lincoln.
So we'll keep going with that. And I'll finish up before because we do have a show to get to, man. A couple topics we want to get into. At the end of the day, on behalf of me and my boy right here, shout out and prayers to every victim of sexual assault and sexual oppression. Victims worldwide, all nationalities, all sexes. But in a free country, in a democracy that we claim to be, the rules have to be set and firm for everybody. There is no moving the goalpost. There is no, we got creative. to get this conviction. Because I'm just like, why don't they get creative? How come they don't get creative to find these motherfucking cartels that's flooding black neighborhoods with dope?
Because they fund it.
I'm just saying, like, there's other way. I mean, and when you say that, you have to be careful, because I don't want any woman to hear my voice and to think that I'm downplaying or I'm willing to do away with their, because a lot of women might feel like this is a justice. And I just want them to be careful in that, because I'm not saying that R. Kelly is morally correct. I'm not saying that R. Kelly did not commit any crimes. I'm not saying he's smart. I'm not saying that some of this shit, nigga, is self-inflicted. Right. However, what I'm saying is I've watched these trials before. You understand? I have an interest in these things because I'm a black male. Yeah,
and this shit gets skewed for us
okay?
Every time.
So I watch these things, and I watch them with open. I was raised by women, so I'm watching. Because I need to know if I need to cancel this nigga, if I need to get this nigga up out of here, if I need to preach against him, teach my nephew, yo, that was a loser.
I apologize, y'all. You're going to have to excuse me. I do need to blow my fucking nose.
But that being said, fam, like, I just want a society where whether you're a white police officer, whether you're a white Hispanic, like by the name of George Zimmerman, whether you're R. Kelly, whether you're one of those Steens, Harvey Weinstein, Epstein, right? I pray that we get to a point in society where we understand right is right, wrong is wrong, and these are the rules. And if you come before the system, the court findings are the court findings. Yeah. Because too many times in this country, the downtrodden, women, black people, minorities, have to deal with the state of the rules. Like, damn, that cop got off again because of the rules. Yep. Damn, they got a jury of our peers, even though none of them motherfuckers look like us and go through what we went through, and they all favor blue lives, right?
Please,
so we have to go through all these rules.
Can we really get a jury
let's just respect them for
peers?
everybody.
Can we really get that? Like, damn, it happens sometimes, but can we get that? Like, you jury our peers, it ain't never our fucking peers. My peers ain't fucking 12 white people. Or six, what is it? 12, right? Yeah.
12, 6. It could be
12 or 6.
Some states is 9.
And that's not to say I don't got white friends, but that's not my peers.
They don't have the same experiences.
Men that look like this man to my left, that's a peer. That's somebody that I know if he's on my jury stand, he's probably went through some of the shit and still going through the same shit I go through on a daily.
Until we establish equality for all men and women. Until white kids start getting beat up and killed by ornery, undertrained police officers that were overzealous and just was choking them because they were in fear for their life. Until
hold on, let's keep it real. Let
me finish my statement.
Ahead.
Until Oriental people are getting pulled over in their own neighborhood because their car is nice.
Yep. When they're getting told to get out of that neighborhood because
either
they
make
live by
this
white folks.
Either make this equality all the way through, the negative and the positive. But we gonna have it. We're not gonna have it both ways. We're not gonna have it like in a sense that we're gonna move the goalposts for who we seem fit. And I'm always gonna be a person, whether it was a black person or a white person, to speak on that. Like, yo, that don't sound right.
Let's talk about the white kid that did get killed by a cop and how quick they swept that shit under the rug. White kid, I think it was in Michigan. I could be wrong. Forgive me. This was a few years ago. Flashed his lights at a cop because the cop was driving down the street without his lights on. Cop pulled him over, started trying to pull him out the car and shit. Pulled his gun on him. Kid ran away. Ended up shooting and killing him. White kid.
Right.
Heard about that shit for about 2 days. Of course, they shoved that shit right under the rug because they know once
cop,
you show
it's not,
this shit.
I know what you're talking about, and I'm gonna say this. It's not that the cop that they shoved it under the rug, fam. It's that kid got justice. Nigga, it didn't take long. Okay. It didn't take a march. Okay. It didn't take a known political figure and athletes to wear T-shirts. It didn't take rappers to talk about it. It didn't take white comedians to make jokes about it. All it took was we demand that you shot this white kid in the back. We need to see what happened. They went out there, investigated. There was no reason, no matter what you felt, he was running away, even then. Your ass going to jail, nigga. You'll never be a cop again in any county, nigga, and now face your sentence. Right there where George Floyd got killed at. Yep. There was a black Ethiopian police officer. bleed blue, right? And I get it. He's a black man from Ethiopia, so he doesn't have no relationships or history with the police. So it's probably a noble job to him. So he takes the job. He's a good cop. Something happens, a real tricky situation, right, where the white woman's involved, and they all got their guns drawn, and she gets shot.
They blamed it on him.
It's not blame. He shot her.
Oh, he shot her. Okay.
He shot her. It was an accident. It was an easily proven accident. But nigga, you think that you can accidentally shoot a white woman and be covered? We don't give a fuck if it was an accident. That man is facing life in prison right now as a cop.
Wow. We don't get that.
So I've always said that. Why? And I heard a black police chief retired from San Francisco state this. Why is it that black officers rarely, if never, accidentally kill white people?
Because we don't get the luxury of accidentally doing anything to white people.
Because black people know, whether you're a cop or not, if you shoot that white boy, that white woman, because you're angry, because they pissed you off, or because they aggressed you, or made you or were aggressive towards you, you're going to jail and you're going to be held to the full extent of the law. There ain't no unions coming to save you. You know what I'm saying? There ain't going to be no Fox News doing 24 hours support for why you were a hero and you were just defending yourself. Yep. They're going to be like, man, it's overzealous police officer. This is what's wrong with cops.
They're going to fucking bring up shit you did in your past. They're going to do all types of shit like that. But we're going to go ahead
and that's our R. Kelly topic.
Yeah.
It's crazy and it's erratic
it's stupid.
As it is. But all those things are tied in.
I can't say it's stupid.
Let me wrap my statement up. All those things are tied in as to why a black man in America can make a comment, an honest assessment of how he see the case going and the treatment of it and the double standards, and then run the risk of offending all the black women he loves by seeming like he's minimalizing their one moment to get truth and their one moment to get justice. So God bless us all. No one truly knows the right or wrong answers.
And
so bless everyone involved.
Attack us on this platform. Hit the DM or go in the comments. Let's have a conversation because
I don't think we're gonna get attacked really.
We defend, like you said. I ain't gonna say it again, but we gonna play a little track real quick. Smoke this blunt. Ease the air a little bit.
Refocus the room.
You know what I'm saying.
Yo. And we are back. So, we was watching a little bit of an interview. This next topic.
I watched a lot of that.
Right. We're gonna talk about Mark Jackson, man. One of the best coaches to not be coaching. One of the best motivators and leaders of men not in a leadership role in the NBA. Several players have voiced concerns about it. Several players have requested that their teams interview him. Mark Jackson allegedly, during one of his sermons, that his team always had an open door policy to come. Mm-hmm. A lot of brothers in the NBA are spiritual in that way, come from church backgrounds. Steph Curry, to be one of the more vocal superstars in that regard. They go to the sermon. It became a team tradition. Next thing you know, the whole team is going to sermon. You know, so imagine the camaraderie. That's why that team was so good, right? That wasn't the star-studded team. Mm-hmm. That was a team with full of guys that they drafted, and they shocked the world. Well, the GM, allegedly, the way the story goes, the GM and the management, you know, they're followers. They want to make the PR of everything, so they come. And one of his sermons that he happened to be speaking on is he made a reference to the disdain for homosexuality within the religion of the followers of Christ. Now, that's all. Everybody knows that. He didn't write the Bible.
No.
He didn't father the religion. Everybody know he's a man of God. But what it was truly is Joe Lacob had a relationship with Steve Kerr and was like, yo, we got everything in place. You can coach this team. He's already made them a champion. He's already made them championship worthy. We got everything in place for you. He did all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And I don't really like him. He's not my buddy. We don't go golfing. And I'm a gay man. And he's a Christian minister who advocates for man, woman, and child theory. So they made it a political issue, right? They made it a stain on his reputation as if he couldn't be professional. And now he can't get a single job in the NBA.
All right.
The man that gave us the Splash Brothers.
So, one of the only niggas to believe that they were going to be the Splash Brothers.
Go ahead. Let me say this, though, to give it to you. So what I framed it was is there such thing as homosexual bullying?
Okay, now I'm going to take this in two parts. Okay. I feel like we saw this with Tim Tebow. We saw a man, he didn't make no anti-homosexual comments, no anti-gay comments, but you saw a man who devoted everything to God, and he left everything to God on the field. He always got this, got that. He's
referenced them before, though.
Yeah, he's referenced God. I'm not saying he never referenced.
No, well, see, that's the thing. He was doing like public service announcements. Tim Tebow used to be on public service announcements and commercials, speaking against Obamacare and all kind of stuff like that, because his family was really rooted in conservative Republican. Okay, some would say racial politics.
I'm not going after the politics side.
I get it. I'm just.
So what did the NFL do? Got him up out of there, right? Because he was talking that Jesus shit and all that shit, right?
Some would say that he wasn't good enough.
Well, okay, he wasn't great. I'm not gonna go there and say he was a great quarterback to get, but niggas do speculate it was a lot of that Jesus shit that did help him.
I'm not one that does that personally, because the NFL. You know why? More so than basketball.
Well, I'm just saying, most people with their sports, they don't even want politics in it.
But dog.
Not most people.
But
let's
think about
ignorant
the NFL.
Motherfuckers don't want.
Let's think of the NFL. The NFL is God, country, football. They market that shit.
They do. But until
every team has a chaplain, or whatever you want to call it. Every team prays and shit like that in the end zone.
But it's until that nigga is on there. Everything God this, God that. I put it all to God. But let me make the whole point though. Hold on. My point is that as much as some of y'all don't want to hear religion, you don't want to hear your politics and shit, you allow motherfuckers to get their politics off. We've had our Black Lives Matter and everything in football. We have motherfuckers is getting a LGBTQ.
Don't go far away from where you was at, because I want to respond to that before you moved on.
Okay, go ahead. Respond to it, because I know where I've been.
Okay,
I know
real
what I'm
right.
say.
Reggie White was known as what?
I don't know.
He's a great football player, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm saying, but what was he known as? If you can remember.
His nickname?
The Deacon of Defense.
Yeah, the Deacon of
Dog,
Defense.
he was the most religious athlete outside of Muhammad Ali.
Okay, so let me.
Okay.
I gotta rephrase.
He was a
gotta
beast
rephrase.
on the field,
Right.
and he could play.
No, but let me. Okay, I gotta rephrase. I'm gonna rephrase. In this day, more in this day than back then. Back then, up until like.
No, dog, that's not fair, because back then he was ostracized for bringing in the gospel. But he was so good.
Okay.
He was so good that what you gonna do? Tell his Bible thumping ass beast of a fucking defensive end that he can't play,
Nah,
and
but
he's running through sacks and running through quarterbacks?
It's all gonna tie in a second. Now, everybody gets their moment, right? You get your political moment, you get your LGBTQ moment in football and everything. We're getting people coming out, we're getting the support from and everything, right? But when it comes to religion and somebody standing on their 10 on what their religion has taught them, what do they say? You stand for nothing, you fall for anything, right?
Right.
So, motherfuckers, you can't. You're now scared of this nigga because he's a PR issue. That's what it is.
But
he's now a PR issue. But it's
you talking about Tim Tebow?
No, I'm
or
talking about Mark Jackson now.
Right.
He's now a PR issue, which is bullshit though. Because what are we doing here? Are we
Is
worried
it
about a PR
but I
issue,
think
or are we worried about winning a championship?
See, I think it's nuanced. I don't think it's a.
You're right,
I think it's.
nuanced. There you go.
I guess
I'll
you could
give
say it's a
that.
PR.
I'll give you
It's part of his PR.
I think both.
But
could
I
be
think
true.
one of them is, nigga, okay, you're not a player anymore. You're not the star. Because he was like that as a player, but he was a fucking franchise point guard.
Right.
He's the fourth all-time assist man.
Yep, you're right. He had something to
First
be able
ballot Hall of Famer.
He had
So,
something to stand
so
on.
now you're just a coach,
Yep.
right?
You're a
You had they did.
commentator, you're a
It's not like
coach.
the Warriors didn't win a championship yet.
Nope. You're right.
So like he
Right.
had no leg to stand on.
Right. Yep.
Oh, and you're a black man.
And then we're gonna get you
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And right now, because of the, I guess, the LGBTQ community's stronghold over the entertainment industry and how everything's politically correct, and we're not, and even though if you people just mind your fucking business.
But
man,
if they
right?
get to have their space, so should he. If we get to have our space, so should he.
Now I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you on that, dog.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I was trying to.
Because I say that
round
about
into.
racism too.
Right.
Hey man, if you think that all black people are niggers and Hispanics are spics and Jews, all this stuff, say it. And I don't think that you should lose your job. However, you'll find out how many black people support you until you say some shit like that. Black people have the right. If you want to call black people niggers and you're a news host and what black people decide, I don't care. I like how this nigga gives it up with the news, and I need to watch the news, and he's the most accurate, and they watch you anyway. That's cool, because now when you do a meet and greet, they know not to bring their fucking babies for you to meet. They know not to buy your book and let you autograph it and act like you're part of this we are all one community. Yeah. They can just treat you accordingly.
Right.
Like, I like his service. That's where it is. He's a racist. I don't fuck with him. You don't have to lose your job for it. But your company might not want to hire you when they realize 30% of the listeners don't listen no more because they happen to have been black. That's all fair. Hey, you don't have to get vaccinated.
No.
But you can't come to the game.
Right. Yeah, there's consequences to what you're going to do.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Hey, man, Kyrie Irving, you don't want to get vaxxed? That's cool.
Don't play.
You're going to miss 40 games, fam.
Is that what they saying?
Well, because you can't play in New York City.
Oh,
so you're going to, and that's why some of the players that's not vaxxed in the California teams, Andrew Wiggins for the Warriors, he's going to miss 40. He can't play no home games. So that's cool, but you're going to get half your salary this year.
Fucking up your bag. What about your endorsements?
Hey, and you might fall out of the players' rotation.
Yep.
If you're cool with all that, I'm cool with all of it.
Right.
Yeah, you might feel like next year or in a couple of years when everything's getting back regular and the vaccine's not an issue, I can work my way back up the player chart and I can make that money back. If you're cool with that, if you like it, I love it.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
But don't be crying to me, nigga, that you can't come to the fucking place that I'm at when I done got a fucking needle stuck in me and I don't know what's in it either. Just like you don't know what the hell they putting in your baby before they let you take them home. But at the end of the day, whatever you decide, man, you stand on it.
Stand on it.
But people got to understand what you eat don't make the next man shit. So at the end of the day, hey, man, we vaxxed over here. Maybe we not vaxxed over here. Ain't nothing wrong with being two groups.
Sitting next to a nigga who's not vaccinated. But
hey,
he knows how
I think that they should be able to have a non-vax club. Hey, a nightclub, they non-vax. We non-vax. This is a non-vax night. This vax night.
Mm-hmm.
It don't got to be this hard.
It really don't.
You know what I'm saying? They making this shit all political, and nobody really knows the answer.
Everybody should just be allowed their space, and everybody should also mind their business.
Hey,
like
I'm supposed to feel sorry for all the hospital workers in New York City after what New York City went through. Right. All those deaths. They didn't even have enough room to bury people, fam.
Nope. And
I'm supposed to feel sorry when you making all this goddamn money, but the doctors and nurses next to you, they didn't been vaccinated, so they know that the work environment is safe. Mm-hmm. They took one for the team. You don't want to take one for the team. Hey, yo, I can't have you in here.
Nope.
Because I don't need you to get me motherfucking COVID when I'm fighting against getting COVID from the people I'm saving from COVID. And if people got a problem with that, okay, whatever.
You know how pissed off I would be if I saw a rich-ass motherfucker non-vaxxed who's just anti-mask and shit in the fucking hospital? Like, that would piss me off.
Well, rich. Poor people are in there like that. It ain't got nothing to do with your economics. Poor people are in there. There's poor people that are in there. Nigga, not getting vaxxed, taking this shit like a joke, not wearing masks, going out, living their lives, right? And now they got COVID.
I fucking hate
how many videos you see on YouTube of the young person, old person, white person, black person, Asian person, Hispanic person, fat person, skinny person, fit person, non-fit person, non-person, about to die, telling you, damn, I wish I would have got that shot. Because they're telling me if I got that shot, it wouldn't be to the point where I'm about to die. They will be able to reverse this and inoculate this issue that's in my whatever's in my body. Yeah. Hey, man, I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to med school. And the day I decided I wasn't going to go to med school and study medicine is the day that I put medicine into the hands of the professionals that study medicine. Who the fuck am I to question medical experts that have gotten the same shot? Everything ain't a conspiracy. And I'm just like, man, I just get tired of the people that get at me like I'm silly for getting vaxxed, and these motherfuckers don't even vote. Nigga, shut the fuck up. You don't even care who's running the district that you put your kids in school in. Shut up, nigga. We fucking talking about what I put in my body. I smoked blunts with you. I done ate shrooms with you. Nigga, we didn't drink liquor. What the fuck is in Hennessy? I know a lot of niggas drinking and end up dead. Nigga, a lot of niggas end up killing niggas off a bottle of Hennessy. What's in Hennessy? What's in that fucking KFC chicken sandwich you niggas was going crazy about? Like, that's what I'll be having a problem with. I'm talking about the non-studious person. The person that don't live a life of balance. I can judge every fucking decision you make, from the way you father your children, the way you treat your woman, the way you live your life, the way you wear your fucking pants. Nigga, shut up. That's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of, like, you think I'm supposed to listen to your ass in the background, nigga? Are you on your phone in the fucking bathroom and the mirror's dirty? And you telling me about the goddamn vaccine?
And the mirror's dirty.
Shut up, nigga.
I don't mean to laugh. But
no,
the way
facts though, fam. You gotta look at some of this shit, my nigga.
Dirty ass.
Hey, bro. Like I said, and we not gonna get on them. This Brooklyn brethren. Nigga, my mom's watching. My mom love Bus. I love Bus. You love Bus.
That's my favorite.
Hey, Bus, I'm never listening to you for medical advice, fam. Hey, nigga, I don't have security to keep random people into bumping in from me. I guarantee you every last one of Busta Rhymes' fucking security is vaccinated. Hell yeah. That's the problem I have with some of these celebrities, that because you're rich and you're out of touch and everything is clean and wholesome around you, shit is cleanly, living good. You smoke the best weed. Nigga, you're eating the best food. You're living in the best hotels. You're riding in the best cars. Everything neat, clean. Nigga, I get it. You're not worried about COVID.
But we are.
Shut the fuck up. Niggas got to go to work. Niggas got to drop their kids off at daycare. School, niggas got to drop their kids off at school. Everybody don't get to go to private. It was like when they was tripping on the governor because he shut down the schools, but a lot of the private schools were still open because guess what, idiots? The governor has no say-so over private schools. That's why they're private.
They're not district-ran schools. They're their own.
That's why they're private schools. So, of course, the governor, that's a multi-millionaire running the largest economy in damn near the Western world. California will be like the 9th richest state in the world, country in the world, if it was his own country. Of course, that motherfucker is a multimillionaire, and his kids go to private school. So, yes, there's a tabloid that runs a story. Oh, well, he shut down the schools, and his kids are in school. And you got peon brain people running with that and being like, oh,
but niggas ain't worried about niggas ain't worried about Ted Cruz taking his family to Mexico.
People are worried about that. But they're justifiably worried about that.
I'm talking about Texas. And a stupid
no, people are fired up about that.
I'm talking about the Republicans and shit.
Well, of course the Republicans ain't tripping. What I'm talking about is like I'm not talking about the people that's in gang. Okay. You feel me? Because in gang is in gang. Yeah. I'm talking about the free press of America. Right. That nigga will allow those things to get out with the context of, I'm talking about the fact that everybody that has millions of followers on YouTube that can spin a story with those pictures and be like, oh, well, the governor's kids, or they got the one black lady, nigga, that's the motherfucking mayor. Oh, well, she was fucking out and she was at the restaurant when she didn't have no mask on. And she's like, you dumb motherfuckers, I was eating steak. How am I eat steak with a goddamn mask on? But that's a news cycle now. That's a news cycle. And we don't have the same energy when it comes to like a story we're going to get into with the United Nations. Well, actually, we'll just run into it because that's our next story. Nigga, the United Nations has stated.
I'm going to apologize to you on this one.
No. I got this. I got this, fam. Pause. Nigga, I almost touched your knee. I'm getting old. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Hey, fam, what is it about when niggas get old, they get more touchy? Like, niggas got to touch you and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Pardon my oldness, nigga. I'm getting old, nigga. But the United Nations, fam, is far back as 2015.
What's up, Ariva?
Oh, shout out to sis. But it's also like, though they did a finding. Mm-hmm. Let me get through this. The United Nations did a finding where they did the studies, they looked at the data, and they have found that the United States of America owes black Americans trillions of dollars in reparations because black Americans are living in what they term through racist terrorism. Look how quick black people and whoever, I can't give black people credit, but look how quick the term Karen caught on. Mm-hmm. Hey, if you can hear my voice, let's make the term racial terrorism catch on. Because when I heard that, my mind was blown because I was like, wait, you mean right now, as early as 2020, the goddamn United Nations has made a statement that says black Americans, hey, I don't care what you say now. I don't care what any non-black American says. Whether you're a black non-American or a white non-American, Hispanic, Asian non-American, I don't give a fuck what you said. The United Nations of the world has spoken and said that this is a racist state against black Americans. They didn't say this was a racist state against minorities. They didn't say this was a racist state against brown people. They said this was a racist state against African Americans because they also know the lineage of African Americans, even if a lot of African Americans don't know that. They know that African Americans can trace their bloodline to the Americas farther back than any other living soul to ever come to the Americas. African Americans are the only ethnic group in North America, the United States, because that's what they cut this off to, that is not an immigrant to the United States, that did not migrate to the United States from another place. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at archaeology. Be mad at science. This is your science that says this. Yep. There's no black person that created this theory. This is what the history says. Also, in 2015, black Americans were reclassified as Native Americans. The question that I have is, what are we now going to do about it? because my platform isn't that big, right? We don't have millions of people listening to this. But maybe y'all can share this with a friend. Maybe you can pass this on in conversation. But also, man, stop looking elsewhere, man. The true solution and answer to all our problems is right here at home. Do for self. Right? But I just wanted to share this. This ain't even no deep topic where we got to get into it. But when you hear that, like, how do you feel about it? Like, what did you think when you heard it?
Racial terrorism? I feel like I've never had a term that fit better to the plight of my people.
I thought the United Nations. What I thought the United Nations was a big deal.
It is.
I remember they chastised Bush and the Bush administration in America for going to war against the findings and against the wishes of the United Nations. That's the World Council. Mm-hmm. So the rest of the world has spoken. What are we going to do, America? What are we going to do? Stop distracting us with a few migrants from fucking Haiti and some Mexicans coming across the border.
What you going to do for us?
What are we doing?
Because you motherfuckers ain't done it yet. And now it's just they've shown you owe us trillions of dollars.
Hey, you can treat us like the natives. You can give us land
and money.
And we won't ask y'all for shit. But they'll never do that because America still looks at black Americans as their number one cash cow. Mm-hmm. They make money off everything we create and do. And it's been like that since they came here. And it's time for a reckoning. It's time for a change. I'm just curious as to what politician, what American outlet is going to capture that and ignite that story. You know what I mean? Because the world is already spoken, and the world is speaking about it. That's what's even more crazy about it, fam. Like when you go and look at the world news and shit, they talking about this shit all the time. There's 1,000 stories about this. So when you say America's losing its luster, and people are starting to not look at America the same. That's what it happens. It takes for the rest of the world to realize. See, until Malcolm X, until that bloody Sunday, and until Malcolm X going over and meeting with the United Nations and speaking to world leaders around the world, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X are the ones that brought the world to this problem. The world didn't know that America was preaching God and country and civilization to them, chastising them for the mistreatment of their people, while treating black people like cargo and animals. And the rest of the world already knows that these black people had been here. So in the era of information, I just challenge everyone to get out of their feelings, to receive the information, vet the information, question the information.
Because pretty soon you're not even going to have the information to get. They're trying to write us out
exactly,
of
man.
history.
Exactly. They're doing that, and it's been a struggle for them to do that, and they've been trying to do that for a very long time. And just like we don't want any other person's contributions to mankind and history written out, just like my ancestors, just like the people that look like me always are praying for Paris, fighting for Haiti, praying for this country, doing this. Like, hey, man, we need some world support. Don't just like our culture. Don't emulate us. Don't participate in the things that we create if you can't speak up for humanity. This ain't a civil right issue no more. This is a human right issue. You know what I mean? Black Americans are the only race of people that don't have their own flag recognized. Fuck you if you don't have a problem with that. And I have no qualms in saying that. You don't exist to me if you don't have a problem with that. So I'm really not even talking to you. This is something that I'm speaking to leaders of the world, so-called men and women that lead the world. I'm not talking to white people in trailer parks that can't fathom what I'm speaking about, that think only on the surface level. I'm not talking to niggas in the hood talking about paperwork either. This shit is over your head. You're peons. I'm talking about the world leaders. I'm talking about the men and women of the cloth that preach that holy shit, this is a time to exercise your godliness. And I'm just asking, what are we going to do about it? It's 2021. It's a year later. I haven't seen that shit on CNN, MSNBC, liberal news, Republican news, conservative news. I ain't seen no motherfucking liberal left-leaning media that plays the race card. They ain't brung that shit up. Fox News ain't brung that shit up. I ain't seen no civil rights activists, black ministers, pastors. I ain't seen none of you motherfuckers bring that up, and everyone knows it. Stop giving your money to this foolishness. Stop supporting and wasting your life behind foolishness, man, because we have all the information in front of us today. That's how I feel about that, man, and we can wrap that because it only goes deeper from there. We'll be talking about that shit for 20 hours. You know what I mean? It's connected to everything. I heard motherfuckers telling Colin Kaepernick to go to another country because they're ignorant and don't know that his blood right is here long before theirs. Hey, and I'm going to finish it with this. If you can go to New York City and cross the Hudson River and go to Ellis Island and find your name in a book, you fucking came here on welfare. And you need to fucking act accordingly. Stop telling black people your fucking ancestors came over here on a boat, because we know the whole story. Nigga, they came over here to get this welfare check. Mm-hmm. They came over to here to get our land and our resources. Fuck you. If you're too ignorant to understand that, I'm telling you, Akeem Magic Gordon is telling you, that's offensive to black Americans. Do not say that around me. You're going to get checked. I don't give a shit about nobody coming over here on a boat from Italy or elsewhere. That was a privilege. You came over here and received land, shelter, and were given resources that were taken from my people. That's a fact. And then you sit here 1,000 years removed, sitting high on a hog, talking about people asking for handouts. And every one of them, all these fucking millionaires' babies, nigga, they tell you the same story. Oh, well, my great-grandpa came over here. He had nothing. Yeah, because, nigga, Europe wasn't shit and didn't produce nothing. So you came over here and stole. That's your white privilege, is that you're a beneficiary of that. You're a descendant of that. Your people aren't more put together, responsible, or good, better with money. It was stolen. The United Nations and the rest of the world have spoken. Is America a decent nation or not? Is America's citizens a decent people or not? We'll end it with that, because we're going to monitor this story. I don't know if I should call it breaking news. You know what I'm saying? Did we just break a story that's already been out before the world? Because I don't even hear none of you podcast niggas that supposedly hotep and woke. Y'all ain't talking about that shit either. Niggas to get on there and talk about what Obama didn't do for black people, but don't bring up the United Nations has spoken.
You know, I just thought about something. If me and this nigga ever just disappear,
right?
You know what happened. Because if you think about it, we don't fit the mold of...
I'm not going nowhere, man.
I'm just saying, no, if we get smacked, because we divulge shit.
If we get smacked, and I'll leave it at this, we're going to move on, but then you know what happened.
Right.
I'm busting back, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we drop a lot of jewels on here that they don't want niggas to know.
Tell you that.
Because if we... Say we ever, like, organically get a million followers and shit. No platform behind us or nothing, nigga. We might get killed.
Relax, bro. Don't speak that into existence, man, on the platform.
I'm talking about by the government.
I don't give a fuck who you talking about. The government ain't nothing but, nigga, 4,800 white people and 3,600 minorities, nigga. That's the government. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we got to start talking life and spirit into things again, because every man in the military, nigga, like, they're the ones. Every man and woman in the military. You can demand civil justice for all, just like that. Cause you think them generals, nigga, is about to come out and fight y'all?
Right.
You think the men and women in Congress, you seen what happened when some ragtag motherfuckers ran up in there on their ass. These ain't we ain't talking about Voltron and them, nigga. We talking about some regular. Half of Congress is out of fucking shape and over 75.
Mm.
I'm not giving these niggas that kind of power. The power is in the people. If people let civil activists and those that speak life into people get killed, that's the fucking people's fault.
Mm.
It ain't the government's. The government uses people to do their deeds.
That's real, yeah.
It's fucking black people over there fighting and taking land from natives in foreign countries.
I could never. That could never be part of my story of my lifetime, nigga.
That's all I'm saying. Hey, man, can you be a soldier that have shot and killed people and a minister? Because if you can, then nigga, shit, you can be a blood and crip and a minister. And I'd advise all my blood and crips out there, man, maybe some of y'all should start ministries because it's a great business.
Yeah,
great taxes.
Very lucrative. What we got next
But
on there?
I'm just saying, that's the scheme of these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I'm not picking on what you said, but what I'm saying is that, like, sometimes we have to, like, really break down our concepts because they're ancient freaking concepts. Mm-hmm. And that's why when somebody says something wild, what do? Back to what your point was. Oh, we canceling this nigga.
Right.
Right? We got to cancel him. You heard what he said? I ain't never heard nobody say that.
Yes, you have.
Hey, in 2021, they had to cancel Einstein. They had to cancel Tesla.
Da Vinci, Michelangelo.
They would have canceled some of these people. Like, they would have canceled, like, George Washington Carver. Mm-hmm. They would have canceled him. Like, what the fuck is you talking about? Nobody talks like that. Nobody thinks like that. It's just, we just got to be careful because I think people do have a responsibility. Everybody has choice, man. Hey, man, I could have did some bad things that looked fun and lucrative.
But niggas chose not to.
Right?
It's all choice. Like, you can't make a choice and be surprised at the consequence of it.
We got to get back to teaching and speaking to young people especially. Hey, you remember when we was kids? It was almost like they would scare your ass straight. Like, Hey, man, hey, keep it 100. Remember, what was his name, nigga? The forest dog? What was the forest? What was that little forest dog, nigga?
There's a bear. The forest. You talking about
the bear or something, nigga? Smokey it. Look, go back and look at some of them 80s shits, like the characters, the imageries of things that they were using to show kids not to go a certain way. Them shits was scary.
Nigga, my mom.
Them shits was kind of like.
My mom used to tell me shit in front of people in the grocery store that, nigga, it would be mortifying. Like if she like see me wander off in the store, she was like, you know, somebody steal you, they're gonna take you from me, cut your head off, and I'll never see you again. Like,
hey,
whoa, but it had to be said.
No, but look though, I feel that. I'm talking about the establishment. Hey man, I'm talking about these niggas with like the commercials that would come on in between Saturday morning cartoons
the dairy,
about strangers.
Drugs. This is your brain on drugs.
About niggas that's about kidnappers. I would remember seeing little reenactments and shit of a kid getting kidnapped. Over candy. Nigga, over all type of shit, whatever scenario they use. I remember, nigga, like, even some of them became funny as we got older.
McGruff the crime dog.
I remember, right, that's what I was talking about. McGruff was spooky, nigga. Right. He wasn't no friendly-ass character.
He had
McGruff,
the big-ass trench coat and
that
shit
nigga looked like he was out there getting shot at and
right,
fighting crime, nigga, like, and saving rapists. And, like, being like, you know what I mean?
Nigga.
Like, nigga, I was like, damn, I want ever, like, McGruff out there. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, McGruff gave me the same vibes as the white dude from Unsolved Mysteries, fam.
Yeah. Real shit.
I used to see that commercial and be like, ooh, shit, nigga. I'm staying my ass in the house. Like, yeah, when the street lights come on, I ain't gonna never be late. Like, now I be looking at shit. They didn't rock these kids to sleep, fam.
No, we weren't rocked to sleep. We were gave the raw, gritty of shit.
They rocked these kids to sleep. I'm looking at a lot of kids, dog, like, because they start making it cheesy. Oh, stranger danger. Okay, if that works, whatever. But now, like, kids have no concept of that when their kids interacting with the world away from their parent. Like, I could remember being a little kid going to free lunch. I was a little fucking kid in New York City, bro. We were young, ripe for the taking. But we were kids of the community, of the city. We had people looking out for us that we ain't even know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's talk about like how niggas.
We were able to go to free lunch, go in and out a couple blocks and come back. I'm looking at little kid. Dog, I remember me and my friends thought we were a fucking bike gang. Because we would be about 12 deep on a bike all in the desert and shit.
Right.
Like, wave. We used to break into my old school.
I broke into school
and,
too.
like, not even go in the school, but we used to, like, scale up kind of in the school and scale up on this path to go on the roof where we had hid all kind of toys and trinkets and shit.
Bro,
we was like the Lost Boys.
Let's think about, nigga, we used to play outside. We could walk to the store by ourselves, all that shit. I'm not sending my kids to no type of store. They ain't doing nothing without me there.
I'm glad because you have kids and you can answer this. Is it so much the world is crazy and oh my God, it's weirdos out here now?
No, it's
let me finish. Or is it the system and society has taken some of your ability away to adequately prepare your kid for the shit that we endured and experienced? And the generation before us would say worse and worse. It goes worse, you know what I mean? So, like, kids became more childlike as generations went on because of the child working laws and things like that. They became more like protected beings, which they should be. But I'm saying, are we protecting kids? Are we limiting their ability? Well, what I mean is kids don't walk to school no more. Even poor kids, for the most part, are getting bused to school, or their schools are so close to their like environment that it's not really a walk to school. They don't have those interactions where they're going like from the school to the store to the house through some kind of transit or something like that, dealing with people, knowing who to stay away from, knowing who they probably can share a conversation with, and then making it home every day. Or like which one? Do you think it's society or do you think it's us?
Okay, it's not us. Society's fucked up. There's a lot more crazy ass motherfuckers out there.
Do you really think so?
I absolutely do.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with that.
Really think about when we were little. Think about us playing outside even after street lights came on. Think about how carefree we were. How often did you hear about kids getting kidnapped and all that shit?
A lot.
It was no.
I'm telling you. You asked me a question.
Okay. But was it on the same? But really think. And I've thought of this myself. There's a lot more kidnappings these days. There's a lot more trafficking of kids. There's a lot more of kids being snatched.
I don't think so.
We can look at the statistics. I'm telling you, society's a lot more crazy.
But when you look at the statistics, also let's look up.
Let's look at the right statistics.
Okay, no, I'll say when you look up the statistics, we also got to look up when the statistics start being kept. See, because a lot of this shit is a byproduct of a lot of these new fears and transgressions are a byproduct of these anxieties, become a byproduct of the new information systems. Now we have databases of all the child sex predators, right? Yep. We didn't have that before in certain generations. So there was a false sense of security. That's the problem. That whole fairy tale of like, oh, it used to be that you can leave your door open. You never could leave your motherfucking door opens. You always needed to watch your child around adults. Pedophilia has been here. Child pornography and sex rings and sex trafficking has been here, fam. Now we are starting to articulate it more. We have databases where we kind of try to like put these people in hubs. Hold on real quick. Let me just finish and I'll give it to you so we can track these things. That's just my only point. That's why I'm on the fence of saying that it might be worse now. We're more in the know now. We have more information and more data of these things now. So your anxieties and your fears are naturally there because you can't fear what you don't fathom. And if you're not a pedophilic person, why would you fathom that? If you didn't get molested by your uncle, why would you think that your child's uncle on his father's side or mother's side will molest them? Why would you investigate if there's a series of pedophilic behavior in certain families before you date them or things like that? Nowadays, women are on the lookout for cues and signs of things like that. Nowadays, women might hear that, yeah, you know, my brother and I was fondled by our uncle and might pause to have a relationship. They might have that right because they have that information, right? Or I don't want to, whatever, however they go about it. I'm just saying that we do have a lot more information now than we did before. In the 70s or 80s, we would never know about somebody from the. No, but hear what I'm saying. Let me finish my point. In the 70s or 80s, fam, we would never know or hear about anybody in Helmand, Netherlands going missing or being kidnapped. Well, no, okay. In the 90s is when we started being able to track and have the information systems out there to where we found out and were able to know here in the States that, hey, an 18-year-old in the Netherlands was kidnapped. That's all I'm saying.
I know, but I'm going on the data right now. We're going on ages. I'm doing like 16 and under on number in the 90s. This is high profile. This ain't, they can't track every.
Well, dog, that's not a good source then.
Well, it is because it tracks high profile, and if there's more.
Black people's cases are never high profiles. So are you saying that no black kids are getting kidnapped? You saying that Hispanic women are getting kidnapped, or Asian women like?
We'll probably never find
Well, but no, that shit is still documented. There is data for that. That's what I'm saying. Like, but when we go,
I don't think you're grasping what I'm trying to do right now. I'm saying these are the highest profile ones from these decades. So
okay, I heard that.
More high profile ones in the 2010s to 2019. I'm saying there's more. You asked me a question.
No, I know, but
I'm trying to prove my side.
But I get, but you're going to don't go too hard in trying to prove yourself right. That you're not listening to the own logic that you're proving. Because we have more data, because we have the internet, we're Googling this right now. In the 70s or 60s, when niggas said that you could just leave your kids at the park all day and they were safe, we didn't know that some girl in Holland was getting kidnapped at 18, and they didn't know about a kid in Texas that was getting kidnapped. Because we know that now, we're naturally gonna say and think, and we're right to that. Yeah, it's a more dangerous world than when I grew up in. My fault, man. That's what I'm saying. You feel me? That's my only point. Like, I just think that it's because of more knowledge versus more activity. I think that for the most part, dog, most human activity, with the exception of cell phone and like media derivative stuff, or like technology, derivative stuff, we're the same as we've been for the most part. I really think that if you pull all the layers off, I think for the most part it's just as many rapists as there's always been among society. That's a hard stat to prove. It's a hard stat to like. Well, you would really have to like go to the library to get that data. You know what I'm saying? You have to go to the library and spend some time and really like read through hundreds of pages to like get that data. Yo. Who, me? But I mean, that's my only point. Oh, can you hear me now? My bad.
You're getting signals, so I don't know.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that I guess there's probably really no way to prove it, but and there's no there's no right or wrong answer. Like
I just personally feel like the world is more fucked up now, and there's a lot more abductions than there used to be.
I think we have what now is considered. Well, it was ESPN was once considered the CNN of sports. Now we have the ESPN of news. Hey, fam, you can go to your phone right now and find a horrible story about a kid being missing, and then turn on the TV and find it in a different one, and turn on. So it's naturally going to be like, damn, what kind of world we living in? When it was a time when the news was more censored in a way that like that's going to alarm the community. That's going to make people think that it's not safe to let their kids or walk their dogs.
Right.
Let's not. Remember, we used to hear that. Oh, well, we didn't tell the public about the suspect and that we had a known serial killer and rapist on the loose because we didn't want to alarm anybody. And boy, that's also why a couple of more victims got picked off. So they changed those methods.
Hold on a second. Keep talking.
They changed those methods.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Talk.
Hello?
Yeah, I don't know why she can't hear you because you're getting signal, and if I can hear you through these headphones, you can be
But yeah, that's why they develop some of those methods and protocols to where it's like, hey, when you first hear about it, you need to alarm the community so they can make the decision. Hey, if there's a person out there killing and kidnapping people while they're walking and their dogs and jogging, I may just not go for a walk or a jog this month until they capture this person.
Yeah, her thing's tripping.
It's tripping?
Her thing is tripping.
Okay, no, I guess it's good. It's on your end. They say I'm good over here. We just checked it. But yeah, there's no way to prove it. I'm ready to move on if you're ready to move on.
Yeah.
Switching up the vibe just a little bit. And it goes to something we was talking about earlier, and I guess I want to be quick on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at some stuff. They're jumping on Jim Jones about some paperwork-ish. I seen another thing on hip-hop. I'm just saying hip-hop YouTube. I'm not shouting out any particular.
I don't think you sent me this one.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was just cruising through.
Okay.
Is there any... What do you think the effects of what do you think the effects of gangster rap / street culture being on, like, what do you think their effects are, the effects of those elements being allowed in the framework of hip hop? What do you think their effects were? I don't think no one's ever discussed this. Like, what's the effects of gangster rap 20, 30 some odd years later on hip hop?
I feel like it was I feel like gangster rap was necessary. It was a necessary evil in hip hop. Not to say it was evil, not to say it doesn't have its place. But it was necessary in the fact of those stories had to be told. And there was no other way to tell them stories but the gritty, grimy way they did.
Word.
Period.
Word.
And
that's true. I agree.
You can't fault any group
point.
for rapping what they had to go through, what they did to get where they are, and say that that's not hip hop.
No, yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Even
if it was a detriment, and to say that
I'm not framing the question as it's anti hip hop.
No,
just
the
effects.
I know. I'm just saying the effects of it. Like, yes, it was there's very detrimental things that came out of gangster rap for black people. It put a bigger target on our back because it really told the story of what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? It was essentially, we still do dry snitch on ourselves.
Stereotypes that comes out of it.
We give it all the stereotypes that they believe about us. We solidify them in ways.
We allow them to weaponize.
Right, we allow them to
some
weaponize
of the things
against us.
that come out of our culture against us. It's almost like we give them our playbook. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a great point, dog. Honestly, that's an interesting point, man.
So yeah, it had a detrimental impact, but only in an outsider's eyes looking in. To us, we know what it represents for our culture. We know we need it. We know it let us see a side of maybe something we did not get to see, because maybe there's black people out there that don't live exactly the struggles the same as some of us have.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, especially today.
Right.
As generations go on and flourish and stuff.
I had my mom and dad.
Right.
I came from a middle class family.
Hey, a lot of people in the hood have their mom and dad.
Right. And
like, so that just shows the stereotypes of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There you're just facilitating stereotypes that, okay, there's no dad in the home. That's bullshit. You know your dad.
Yeah, because now we've gotten to a point, right? We've gotten to a point where you have artists that are now a little reluctant to share that they come from a two-parent home.
Yeah.
Like, they lose points.
Right.
Like, you can't speak for the culture no more. How dare you?
And that's bullshit.
And that's
because
crazy. Like,
because
you know what I'm saying?
Any real pro-black person is going to tell you ain't nothing better than having a mom and dad in the home.
Right. Two is always better than one.
Than having even if the dad's not in the home, but the dad is involved.
Shit, even if the mom's not in the home, but she's involved, right? It's about involvement of family,
you know
and inclusion of family.
A woman cannot teach a man how to be a man, and a man cannot teach
the woman how to be.
Hold on, a man cannot teach a man cannot teach a man how to have as much compassion and caring and love as a woman is going to show that.
Preach, bro. That's a fact. I'll second that.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'll just throw in that shit.
There are some women who hold on before you said that. There are some women who do a damn good job though of being both.
They do.
I will not take that
they're
from
superhuman.
them. You know what I'm saying?
There's
a lot of fucking women out there.
ethnicities.
Yeah, there's a
They're
lot of
super
women out there are fucking
They're
super women
women.
who do it.
They're
Do it well
superhuman, I
on
should
both
say.
sides that do not need the dad there, and somehow them young men become
Great
stand up grown men.
Also,
You know what I'm saying?
just to be fair, like, hey man, it's hard. It's single dads out there raising women,
Right.
And
Right.
and they
Same-
need
same
a
shit.
good woman. They need women around to help them
Yeah, I gotta say that.
develop this
Period.
woman. You know what I'm
Period.
saying?
Because
This young
I'm a
woman,
man. Let's take a man. I'm a girl dad.
right?
I got more girls than I got one boy. I got 4 girls. I'm a girl dad. If I did not have, say I didn't have their mother, because fucking Jen, my daughter's moms, and
Okay.
Kylie,
Okay, man.
great mothers.
Right.
Period. Point fucking blank. And I know my fucking daughters are gonna all turn out to be great women. You know what I'm saying? But you take them out of it, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with all these girls. You feel
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
that's
would be a
facts.
single dad who would be nigga deer in headlights.
You would be
with
just
these-
calling
with
mom
these
like, Mom, what
women.
I do? How do I do this? Hey, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Yerp,
But
yerp.
it'll be you and my Dukes doing it. Like that'll be. What are you gonna do? Look, fam.
But it's a good thing I have a solid woman that could help that.
Since
you know what I'm
McCoy
saying?
has joined our family, bro,
Right.
you know what I just realized?
You're the man that has to teach him how to be a man.
That also, but at the same time, like, I don't know shit about raising a kid.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I've
'cause you
never
with
been,
him
I don't have
full
children.
time, right?
So I've never been forced to, like, even think. And so I just be laughing at a lot of my friends, you included. I'd be like, damn, that's crazy. This nigga really went through this at 20-something, like, you know what I mean? While we were doing all this. Like, he
All
was really
this, I was
doing this. Like,
yeah.
that's kind of wild. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Trying to
like I'm
make
thinking
all
about some of my
all the
friends,
family
like,
life work,
hey,
bruh.
man, and I salute brothers because it's like, bro, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, man, this world didn't get easier for men to be a father figure in.
No, it just did actually.
You
because
know,
Obama.
Well,
Men get wick now.
hold on. I get that. I didn't mean it in that way, and that's deep. That's some shit
Men
that's
get-
I'm
men
surface
get-
level with it.
yeah, men get
you
wick-
going-
we get
you
wick
going
now.
intricate. I'm surface
Yeah,
level with it.
we
I
get
couldn't. I
wick
ain't even
now.
know. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, like, okay, this is get tricky. Let me be careful.
Oh,
with
much
this.
easier for me to get food stamps too.
Let me be careful with my words.
It's one of them.
Yeah, fam. So you know how, like, stereotypically, because of the way society was set up,
Mm-hmm.
men were, you know, and still are in a lot of ways, but then extremely, men were the dominant
Yes.
of sex in
Yes.
terms of, like, economics,
Breadwinning and all that.
playing the game, period, right?
Yep.
So because of that, I argue with a lot of men that it was easier. Fam, half the fucking, excuse my language, half the world,
Mhm.
or half the society that you're competing economically in couldn't compete. We're not even gonna go racial. We're not even gonna go about the other percentage that couldn't compete because of their skin color or ethnicity, right? That's why I don't really champion some of these forefathers of ours and people that started these businesses back in the day that we still frequent today. I don't think you have much competition, and it was set up for you to win.
It was
Right.
right.
So that being
The
said,
because like think about this, Coca-Cola. I bet there was a black person out there that had a way better tasting soda.
our Mexican person,
Mexican person,
our
Indian
Native
person,
American,
Asian
like,
person,
they fucking
Native
anybody, or a
American,
woman. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you.
Right.
Um,
It was set up, nigga.
yeah,
You were
JP
set
Morgan
up
and
to
them-
have
JP
everything.
Morgan and all these people, like, you wasn't inquisitive and, like,
Because look at we
like,
can
you
go back
wasn't
to
some
we
kind
can
of, like,
go back
innovator.
to the Oklahoma.
You had privilege.
We can go back to the Oklahoma bombings. The second that we showed them, like, nigga, we can rival you niggas and flourish what they do. Blew us the fuck up.
What you mean?
That's the bombings, right? It was in Oklahoma, right? Black Wall Street.
Oh, bro, you know what? I'm sorry, dog. I don't know how I missed the connection. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, well,
The second that we did
and
it,
the thing is, it's several scenarios of that. It's several.
the second we showed JP
scenarios
Morgan Chase,
of-
we
of
didn't need your
jealousy,
shit, nigga.
of
They try to get
jealousy
us up out of there.
and envy to other communities that thrive under the rules that were set before them.
Yep.
So you put these rules on these people, take away their native status, all those things, right? You make it to where they have to fight to be able to participate in this little game of yours.
Right.
They carve out a piece,
Yep.
whether it's through a native reservation or through it's a black town. They start thriving and going up. Said dominant race come through taketh, come through destroyeth. That is the pattern of history. Now, the problem is that people that are descendants of this history are always going to know it. People that are byproducts of this history, they don't.
Right.
See, the problem is with non-African American black people in America is they don't know our history. They don't know what the fuck black people went through.
Real shit.
So they'll put a Blue Lives Matter thing up because then to them it's just like, yeah, man, cops do a good job. They keep us safe.
No, you do.
They don't know the history and the terror. They don't know that these cops come from the very slave patrol units that ensured our enslavement when we fought hard and risked our lives to get away. Here they come, reeling us back to the master. So that's the relationship with black Americans and the police. And until it's fully addressed and eradicated certain elements and practices, it's never going to change. But no Caribbean black person that's new to America would probably fully understand that. No African person that's new to America will probably fully understand that. Right. And no other minority person that comes to America that can't look up on TV and in the news cycle on a daily basis nationwide and see a black innocent person gunned down senselessly by police officers through routine traffic joints with no criminal background and no weapons. If you can't understand that, shut up, step to the side, and enjoy the country that we slaved in literally to create for you.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to go nowhere. God bless you.
But nah, back to the original where it started. Gangster rap wasn't a detriment at the start, but throughout the evolution of it, became more and more of a detriment.
Should it have been more?
Into.
The thing about my theory is with gangster rap, if we're going to allow them to get elements of the street and put it before white America, we should have very much put an infrastructure in place, like a council
we should monitor,
to govern it.
Yep, we should have monitored it.
You young boys is telling too much. You talking about too much. Nope. Hey, man, keep that gangbanging shit out the records, because once you start gangbanging on wax, nigga, it's a RICO case, and you're a criminal enterprise. How do they know you're a criminal enterprise? Because your whole market scheme and layout.
And stop feeding in all the stereotypes. Stop feeding in the we're lazy. Stop feeding because the dads ain't in the home.
On one question,
you know what I'm saying?
Tell your story.
Yeah.
But because white country stars tell their story all the time too,
fucking
and
song.
Nobody makes that a stigma of white people. There's a lot of white country stars talking about their dysfunctional ass family and parents,
or talk about how great they grew up on their country farm with their mom and their dad,
or without their mom or dad.
Right.
Country is the white hip hop.
And they rap.
So now
I remember a song I heard them teach you how to Dougie was.
They followed us. They followed us.
I was like, nah.
Yeah, they followed. But that's music. Music bends to the creators of music.
I hate that shit because Lil Nas X did a country song and they hate that nigga. But we supposed to accept.
Right, Lil Nas X is. I mean, I speak is for my culture and hip hop.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what they do with Lil Nas X.
No, but I'm saying, black dude had a hit country song.
Hey man,
they want to
I'm gonna tell you something right here on
fucking radios.
Everybody with your skin folk ain't your kinfolk. What the hell do I care about somebody else tribalmen, nigga, and what they do to them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I heard Lil Nas X come onto one of my tribal platforms, allegedly. And you know what he said? Fuck your kids. That ain't hip hop. So because of that alone, he's letting you know he not hip hop. He's an artist that does a certain type of music. If you like him, God bless him. If you support him, God bless you. I think it's weird that when my little nephew is going on YouTube on his page, designed for children, and he's looking at Spider-Man Wronghead and cartoons that dance and Mickey Mouse Club and all this other fucking kid shit, and no matter what, every once in a while, a Lil Nas X video will pop in the algorithms. Yeah. Just think that's kind of funny.
That's kind of
Disney.
odd.
I know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
but my little nephew ain't. You know what I'm saying? With all that, hey, he looked at me like, yo, like, and got that shit right on up out of here and got right back to Hulk smash. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, nice try, but get out of here. So it goes back to me. Culture. Every other culture has guidelines for their shit, bro. You can't wear no Timberlands and a Yankee hat and a hoodie and get 3 niggas and call yourself a mariachi band. My Mexican compadres will kill your ass.
You
right? You can't go put on an Oriental gown and call yourself a triad gang. Boy, Shrimp Boy, and them will have your ass.
Come through with them
right?
Suies.
Right? The reason why I brought this up because I wanted to get to a point is like, dog, you don't think it's weird that we don't know the name of no white street gangs?
Yeah, because they don't broadcast.
And you don't think it's weird that unless you're from New York or San Francisco or just study gang lore, you don't even know what the fuck a triad is? Mm-hmm. You don't think that's weird? You don't think it's weird that when you hear gangs, the only thing your ass is trained to think is black people and Hispanics? Nobody don't even know who the Purple Gang is. That was a Jewish gang. It was killing niggas, dog. They had bodies. They had a turf. They'd run drugs in numbers. Like, why don't we? I guess is what I'm trying to say is that, like, because of our lack.
Open the playbook way too much.
Because we allowed them to give us a race and identity here. Okay? Because we allowed white people to tell us we're African Americans. Now white people that move to America from Africa, they're African Americans. Africans that move to America are African Americans. We never had a chance. We don't get to set the rules for the things that African Americans create because non-traditional African Americans have say-so in it. That's a fact. White Americans have a say-so in it. Now, I'm all for inclusion, but my people have been getting murdered, shot in the neck, shot 15 times in front of their pregnant wife and children for fighting for inclusion. So I'm not speaking from my personal opinions or anything like that. I'm talking about observing history, observing today's common occurrences, and saying, well, what am I saying? I didn't make this shit up. Where did I get this from? And until we start having those kind of conversations, bro, miss me with all the ancillary things. I don't give a shit about nobody's paperwork, who they snitched on, who's a real nigga. I don't care who's gang. I don't care who's holding down they hood. I don't care who can go to the hood, who can't go to the hood. You understand? Like, nigga, I don't care what athlete smokes some goddamn weed. I don't care.
Shout out Shikari.
Yeah, we Shikari fans over here. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Shikari.
Smoke them on and off the track, you dig? So, but I'm just saying, fam, like, we allowed truth. Hip-hop is truth. So it was evidently that it was. I remember a time when gangsters didn't like rappers. They thought they were corny.
Yep.
And gangsters started getting into rap.
Ice-T said that.
And started rapping.
Said he thought it was corny.
Man, Hov used to get at you if you called him a rapper back in his day.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep telling you niggas I'm not a rapper. Like, you know what I'm saying? You silly rappers funny to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he even said that about not. Like, nigga, you rapped about the shit that I did, my nigga. Like, that's my life. I showed you your first tech. And then I heard your song about your tech on the dresser. Like, so because of those things, you got street dudes that, you know, they from the culture. Mm-hmm. Nigga, it's like you're gonna get a street nigga that can hoop too.
Right. Like
that could rap. Now you street nigga that can rap, make beats. So they started realizing, like, okay, I can get out the streets on this. But we didn't have strong hip hop rules. So I would like when niggas be mad at Whack 100 because he start talking about my Pyru rules and LA gang banging rules and putting that in music. And other niggas be like, bro, I'm from Texas. I don't even know what you're talking about. We say this over here and it don't mean that. He's not wrong necessarily because that's what made him. So he comes in everything on that stance. And you got people that look at that and be like, well, nigga, what are we talking about? And now I see that clash all the time in the intellectual space of hip hop. Like niggas would be talking to hip hop and niggas would be like, oh, well, nigga, fuck that in the streets, nigga, because in the streets. And it'd be like, yeah, hip hop is a reflection of the streets, but hip hop has never been the streets. Even the early rap groups was touring around the world. These niggas is limos, plush hotels, staying at the W, staying at the Trump, staying at. Hip hop has always chased the finer things. So we always like to talk about the small street element of it because we all come from the streets. But niggas be rapping about that fly shit. The dopest rappers of every era was the flyest rappers. The toughest nigga has never been the best rapper. Let's just face that.
Right.
Never has the toughest nigga been the top sellingest rapper of all time. They usually use the fact that they tough as the reason why they don't sell records. I'm too street for these niggas. Your songs aren't as good. That kid that went to college and dropped out, his songs are better. And guess what? Tired of these street niggas with that shit. Boy, if you black and you from America, nigga, you can rap about street shit. You from the streets. You can be suburban and still have street stories to tell. Nigga, your daddy probably was a pimp at one point in time. Your daddy could have been in a gang at one point in time. Your daddy's a lawyer, but your uncle sold dope, nigga, and just got out the pen, and that's your favorite uncle. Nigga, you got a lot of stories to tell. You came from a two-parent, beautiful family, okay? But nigga, your cousin and best friend always stayed at your house because his family was fucked up. His mom wasn't shit. Your best friend down the street, nigga, his daddy wasn't shit. Beat his ass every day. They lived in a beautiful house. What are we talking about? Hip-hop is a reflection of black art. Hip-hop is black culture, and because it's black culture, it's there for everybody else like everything else black people create in this country. We share with the world, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I think that in the future, if we want to stipulate things, if we want niggas on this side of the country to not be able to do what these niggas on the side do, because nigga, that's their thing. We need to start communicating, and we need a council. We need like a hip hop fucking council. Put all our OGs at the table.
KRS-One tried to do that shit,
but
and then
no. This is the thing about KRS-One. I'm glad you said his name.
Hip hop temple.
I'm glad I said his name. KRS-One also defends Africa Bambaataa, so he loses that.
He does with that.
He loses that. KRS-One also told Nelly he couldn't be hip hop.
Oh yeah, I remember
you
that
lose,
battle. Right.
You lose a generation when you do that. Who are you, right, nigga? You didn't make hip hop either, KRS-One.
That just showed he didn't progress, and he refuses to.
So that's why he can't be the president
right.
of the camp. Now, every true hip hop head, every backpacker at heart, we all would love to say KRS-One. We know he deserves it,
but there's just too.
But he hasn't earned it.
Right. I can respect that.
He hasn't earned it. There's other artists that might not be as legendary or as great, but they evolve. They are inclusive. Mm-hmm. Hey man, something has got. For as much as I don't rag on him, but as much as I discredit Snoop in certain areas of legendary status,
right.
One thing you can't take away from Uncle Snoop is that he was cool enough to be Uncle Snoop for us, nigga. Right now, if you walked up on Snoop, I've been around him, nigga, he's gonna call you, nigga, what's up, nephew?
What's up, nephew? And
before you leave, let me take a picture with Uncle Snoop.
Yeah.
And because of that, he's on songs with the Migos. He got songs with every generation. And there's something to be said about that.
He don't mind the OG status.
He loves it. He grew up, nigga, like in a sense of like, I don't mind getting. I've gotten older, and there's these young niggas now. I'll do a little shit with Wiz. Mm-hmm. You know, nigga, he got at Wiz like, nigga, you remind me of me. You like an East Coast me, which he was. I was saying that like, damn, Wiz is like an East Coast Snoop Dogg. Yeah. And then boom, Snoop helped him. Like so, I'm talking like evolution. I'm talking. Awareness. Yeah. Hey, bro, we love to talk this shit about hip hop culture. They disrespecting the culture. Do it for the culture. We love to say we want to draft this person in the race draft. We love to say, his ass, he can come to the barbecue anytime. Well, let's take it all the way there then. We need a hip hop council. If you hear this, man, and you one of the OGs in hip hop, Man, share this, tag all the OGs of hip-hop from every coast. We know who they are. We don't even have to debate that.
Right.
Let's get a hip-hop council, man. And one without a corporate sponsorship. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like, because, and I'm going to be careful with this, but I'm going to say it with my chest, nigga, because I'm my mother's son. Ain't no white people on this council. And the reason why I'm saying that is because no one else, this is an all-black council. Nobody else in this culture drives the culture. Nobody else in this culture can create trap music within the culture, or snap music within the culture, or mumble rap within this culture, or backpack, or gangster rap. These are all genres started by black American men, and the world follows it. We don't copy no other wave. So because of that, in this council, and no one need to worry because you're going to be included. It's going to be a beautiful thing. You're welcome. You still get your money. You get to do everything. You don't got to pay homage to nobody. You can call yourself hip-hop, nigga, wave this flag. That's your culture. Hey, I know a lot of my friends that ain't black is going to feel the way about this because they rap and I don't. And that's where they always miss this shit. Because I was born into this culture. I had no fucking choice.
Right.
And since it's responsible for claiming the lives of millions of people that look like me, hey, nigga, I'm going to say something about it. And we can leave it at that. Unless you got something that you want to throw in on this topic.
I told you my answer.
We lightening it up, and then we're going to get to the one I know you really want to get to. But just real quick, neither one of us are Raiders fans. Shout out to the Bay. Don't be mad at the boy. I didn't take your team.
I don't even like your team.
I ain't asked for you niggas to come here. All y'all did was make the prices of Vegas go up.
And I can't even go to a fucking game because that shit's mad
Traffic
expensive.
tricked off.
Shit's mad expensive to go to a game.
I mean, NFL games are just expensive, fam, because they ain't that.
Nigga,
They-
Frisco games weren't that expensive to go to Levi Stadium.
Shit.
I don't know.
When's the last time you went?
Yeah, you're right.
They ain't up the price, fam.
Yeah, and
They ain't
COVID
up the
does
price.
fuck out
That
there
shit
every
ridiculous.
Friday.
You got to pay for that pretty ass stadium.
And they got to pay for the whole year.
And they got to pay for all the motherfucking tickets that's empty, nigga, when you on LV play.
Yeah. Oh, that's what UNLV get to play now? That's dope. They don't have
That
to
rivalry
play
game
in
going to be
Thomas.
lit.
Hell yeah.
That rivalry game going to be lit. I might have to check. Shout out to the Rebels, man. I need to catch a UNLV
All right,
game.
so hold on. So shout out to the Raiders. My only thing to say to y'all is
3-0.
just hope you'll.
Where,
I'm not going
where the applause?
right there. On wood because y'all only thing is you guys have had good seasons the last 3 seasons. It always ends because your quarterback Carr cannot stay healthy through the last half of the season. Y'all had a great playoff run 3 years ago, and then he gets hurt. Second round of the playoffs ends it. Last year you had a good run, middle of the season ends it. He got to stay healthy. Y'all got a good looking team right now.
I ain't gonna lie,
If
fam.
Carr
I haven't
stays
watched. I seen a
healthy,
little bit of highlights though.
Shit, they've been covering bets.
Yeah, I heard
If
they. I
Carr
heard they
stays
all right.
healthy, y'all got a shot. You're gonna have a good season.
So are we ready to say John Gruden was making the right decisions for what he was trying to do, or are we still in the camp
I
of
feel like John
Gruden was
I feel
tripping
like
when he got rid of old boy and traded
Bullshit.
everybody?
bullshit. I feel like John Gruden is a genius when it comes to being an NFL coach. He's got a Super Bowl to prove it.
A lot of people say that's Tony Dungy's. That was his team. He built them.
Yeah, but he built the team, but the nigga got the Super Bowl with him.
They was like one game away from the Super Bowl before they fired Tony Dungy. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out
But
there.
who do you-
And he got to play the team that he
That's what I was
left.
just about to say.
Bro,
I
he
was
had
about to
kind
say
of a
that.
gift wrap. His shit should have an asterisk, bro. Hey, nope.
I
Now I
was
ain't gonna
just
do that
about
because
to
I
say
like
that.
John. I like John because
was
I ain't
about
gonna
to
do. I ain't
say
gonna play
that. He
John.
did-
I'm
he
not gonna
did
play you
beat
like
the
that.
team
You
he
don't
was
deserve
the
no asterisk.
quarterback of.
But John is a
Not the
bad
quarterback,
motherfucker,
He
man.
was the
John
quarterback.
Gruden is a bad motherfucker.
He is.
That nigga's. That's why they call him Chucky. And he looks like Chucky. But fam, he did some player shit. Like, you want to talk about a finesse guy?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the job of a dude that don't deserve to get fired. That ain't his fault. I ain't blaming him for that.
Right.
But I'm going to a team that everybody had a fit, pretty much was like, they Super Bowl,
That's what
strong
the
Super Bowl
Warriors
contenders.
did.
But it's a little different because these niggas, then you got, I remember that game. I was at my boy Kaipo Dean's house. Shout out to him, his whole family, diehard Raiders. They almost ran me out the crib, nigga, because I wasn't even trying to. I'm like, damn, they killing these niggas, like, because I'm like, bruh, they're saying it. They know all the plays. Like, you seen Tiki Barber and them was like, nigga, we know all they play. Like, we knew they was going to do that, laughing. Niggas getting interceptions like, I knew this was coming. I just thought that was the wildest shit ever. Like, it'll never happen again, probably. That won't ever, especially for someone's first and only Super Bowl. And where he did that was smart. This is why he gangstered me for it. He got out of there.
Yep.
He got out of there, finessed his way with his personality into the media,
and then
got those relationships, came back and stuck them up for $100 million.
Not only did I beat you,
I'm the young John Gruden that don't. I'm the young John Madden that don't mind flying. Give me $100 million, I'll come.
Beat you.
You want to move them to Vegas, and I'm big personality.
And then beat you and beat you.
You need me to go wow those investors and all those casino folk. And I'm a party boy. I'll go do it. Give me $100 million. Fam. I'm out.
Yeah. I'm not on no more.
I don't care if John Gruden don't ever win a damn game. That man need a statue. I don't know where you're going to put it. Give him a statue. Because when he comes back to the media, what you think the bag going to be? Fam.
50.
It might be 100 something. Don't sleep on this media shit. Niggas be getting $100 bags like it ain't, like it's nothing in the media. It just there's nobody outside of the media to report on the media getting the bag. Right. They be reporting on everybody else's money. Telling you what everybody else got broken down to the episode, broken down to the game, per snap. Shut up, nigga. How much you making? With your non-athletic, non-talented ass.
Pay per word to talk, nigga.
I'm watching Baron Davis on his podcast. The nigga said, man, you know when the media turned on me is when I got frustrated with them and started attacking them. Like, I would be like, yo, fam, I read your article last week. That shit was trash. I could have did that in the 8th grade. All that ain't shit but copy-paste, nigga, high school level shit. You're not a good writer, fam. That's why you're a sports reporter. And he said they would be hot at that. Like, they would get in their feelings. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because there is some true in it. The ones that are good writers end up being Stephen A. Smith, nigga, and Skip Bayless and Colin Cohart. They always end up rising to the crop. The Chris Broussards and the Mike Wilbons, they all end up just rising to the top because they can actually write a story other than the copy and paste and tabloid-ish, like, oh, like, you know what I mean, like tension between the Akeem and Dre in the backfield, like, nigga. No, they gonna go in there and write, hey man, Akeem and Dre both are used to dominating the football. They're friends off the field, but they're just having a little nuance difference of where they're just trying to, you know, get their rhythm together. So now, because they are supportive of each other, when one has it going, the other one is perfectly comfortable being the lead blocker. That's what a writer would say that has some kind of, you know what I mean?
Poeticness to it.
But you don't be saying that shit from these, what do you think about this? Like, you know what I mean? Those type of motherfuckers. And there's no talent there.
Because of the sound bite.
Right. And it was funny that when he said that, because I never thought about that until I heard him say it. Like, damn, you're right. The sports writers that are good, you know who they are. Like, you can name them all. Like, oh, okay. And then there's a million of them that work at high-end sports jobs, make a lot of money, and they're you couldn't read an article. You won't read an article. Like, shit's terrible. But shout out to the Raiders. This next one, man. Ami and the Hellcat, man. We with you, brother. We with you. Free Ami, even though he's out. But Ami and the Hellcat, if you're not familiar with him, he is known as a YouTube blogger. But him and his friends are co-conspirators right at this moment. They created what he said is he found a loophole. Now, what me and Dre was saying off camera is that loopholes have never been criminal, right? Hold that thought. You got a young black kid from Philadelphia, from the mud, a gifted kid that never had a foundation to share and develop his gifts. So although this was a poor ghetto kid that knew how to like reprogram computers and break down software only moments after obtaining it and build it and things like that. He never really got credit, never went to a gifted and talented school, never got to go to a degree program or anything like that. Hard living. I think he said once that he has like 20-something siblings. Yeah. So he was for Dolo. He was in the streets doing all those type of things. This kid sat home one day broke, was tired of his situation, and literally had pen and pad in hand. How am I going to fix my life? And he thought of what now they're calling a scheme, but he found what his lawyer is saying, a legal loophole in the streaming game. Omni and his friends, after doing research, found that in China, there's technology out through a card with a SIM in it that allows you to duplicate. So if Dre had Netflix account, and I wanted to share it, he would give me the password. I would log in. That's fine. But what happens is, if Dre has a certain, and this is before I guess YouTube or Netflix start getting wind to do this, there was no limit to that. You can share your fucking password with whoever the hell you wanted to. What him and his friends did
found how to use one account and make it a million different accounts.
They created about 14 to 20 some odd accounts. They got all the streaming services. They paid for them.
They also stripped cable boxes too.
But this is the thing. The plan when he designed is, they got the whole they got that card that's in China that allows you to operate these things. They subscribe to all the streaming services that they wanted to advertise. Hold on. That's what I'm saying. Streaming services through the cable networks. They did all that legitimately. They hooked these up. They're paying that bill, right? But they figured out a way to duplicate the services without duplicating the bill. That's the nuts and bolts of it. I'm paying you all for these 14 subscriptions. I'm paying 14 different cable networks, and I'm doing it in a way that covers every region that I'm marketing my product to. The stripping of the cable box is the lack of manufacturing and technology. That's another loophole. Yeah. Because we see that all the time. Right now, there's a person working on your brakes, then they need to be lubed, and they using motherfucking deodorant to lube them instead of the traditional, because they out of this. Like, it's a loophole. There's nothing criminal about it, as documented, right? So he goes, they realize, okay, well, what we need is a device to load these things on, and then we sell the device with the subscription. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't go to the store and buy Omni and the Hellcats reloaded device. It was called Reloaded TV. So he's buying all these things, paying for them legitimately, and then saying, hey, just like we do in the hood, he just took the shit worldwide, baby. Yeah. Like, yo, I got a password. Yo, I got a website we can watch this fight on. You know what I'm saying? Niggas are sharing shit like that on YouTube right now and not being criminal. Well, however, like in the corporate space, like in America and the tech space, it caught on what he was doing from the business and the creative worlds first. They marveled at it. This boy is winning, and he ain't doing nothing illegal. He's making millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? The cable companies, they get wind when duplicate companies started to pop up,
doing the same shit. Even
some corporations started doing the similar thing, where they would basically retech some shit, strip it down, load up their stuff on it, and then now that you're seeing the shit at Walmart, where you can just buy this product and nigga hook it up to your TV, and now all of a sudden without cable you can get this channel, and this channel. Yep. You just pay a subscription. That's what Omni and the Hellcat created. Now, he didn't have a patenting lawyer. He didn't have no corporation behind him. He didn't have all those things. So yes, he used his own innovation and survival ability to stretch things and like, oh, this is how we gonna do it. He did that, and it blew up. It was extremely successful. Him and his partners made millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Right. Well, when the other companies joined and start doing that, the cable companies, they starting to realize that. Like, wait a minute, you selling your shit in stores? They're pirating our shit. Mm-hmm. Because that means that they have some motherboard over there basically like, with these subscriptions doing the same thing that this black kid was doing. It was a lot more clean cut. It looked a lot more professional. You can go to Target and buy it or the Dollar General and buy it, some store like that. But it was the same scam, same hustle. So they put out class action lawsuits and things like that and infringement things like that on all the people that they dubbed responsible. Omni and the Hellcat being one of them. That's fine because in all actuality, that would lead to probably a multi-million-dollar fine, like everyone else. Except for all of a sudden with this kid, the federal government wants to make him a criminal, and they went after him. Of all the co-conspirators, all the other companies, all the white people, and millionaires and billionaires that joined in on this lick because they seen a loophole, they're criminalizing him. Now, are they criminalizing him because he's the mastermind of it?
They're criminalizing him because black people are not allowed. People of
before you get there, I was posing that to the audience. When they raided him, they raided him under the guise of him doing something criminal, under the lines of more so RICO-esque. Like they kept asking him during his interrogation, per him and his lawyer, who do you work for? And who's the mastermind? Who created this? And he was like, no, I did. This is my business. And when he broke it down to them and showed them all of his paperwork and like, this is my subscriptions, these are my receipts, this is what I did. He didn't break any laws, but they stretched it for now 3 years, and finally he gets his day in court. I give you the floor. What the fuck is going on with Omni?
Black people are not allowed to do white crime. Period. We're not allowed to tap into their loopholes. We're not allowed to get the secret cheat codes, the ABA, CABBs of the Mortal Kombats and shit. We're not allowed that luxury. We're not. We're not allowed to make our lives easier with the cheat codes of the white people that makes their lives easier. White collar crime does not qualify for us. We're not qualified for that.
Yeah, because there were statements from some of the attorneys that's representing some of the other people that were in the lawsuit, and they was just like, yeah, it is kind of interesting. You know, like when white people are smart that recognize systemic racism, but they don't want to say that. So they say things like, oh, it's kind of peculiar how why they're going after about this. Yeah, I don't understand why, it's kind of odd. I'm really perturbed as why they're going after him criminally and no one else. But, yeah, we know what the fuck this is, man. One of the things that we also talked about off air in pre-production is that, like he said, once they came and seized 54 properties from this young kid, he's only 27, some shit like that. They seized 54 properties from him. You want to talk about generational wealth? They took 54 properties from him and like 60 fucking cars.
Money.
They took
jewelry.
Over $40 million in assets. Mm-hmm. This boy had records that showed that in 3 years alone, he had made over $40 million. So when they froze his assets and did all that to him, he came back out, and it's black culture, baby. It's black American hip-hop shit. All the people that he bless him. Yeah. So those dealers that he made millionaires by buying those whips and freaking them out and all that, they threw him a couple whips. Hey, yo, you're a blogger, you're a fly nigga. He got a couple free Jacob Rolexes and things like that, APs from the homies, right? He got a couple free Cuban links, so he looked back on. Mm-hmm. He still had his mansion. They couldn't take his house from him, so he got right back to the grind. Like, I'm still a vlogger. It's still new media. I still got millions of subscribers. I'm still making millions of dollars legitimately. I got to it. I waited for you can't touch this money. And he got back to it, And then he took the guise of what they said that he did illegal. And now that he has the money, he went and implemented some of those things, those legal practices. And he said that. He said, yeah, I ain't know shit about how to pay taxes. I was going to the regular tax lady. Mm-hmm. And I realized I had to come back and tell them through my lawyer, hey, you people over here at the corner store tax place, y'all filing my taxes wrong. I'm a multi-millionaire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you're filing my shit right, per my lawyer, because my lawyer just found out how much I paid in taxes, and he's like, there's no way in hell that's all you paid in taxes. You're a multi-millionaire. We're richer than me. You should be paying more than I pay. You know, or just they just broke it down to him. So like, he went and checked, and that's how they sent the information out to the IRS. Like, yo, we need to do like an audit on this because we might have been filing these wrongs for these years. They went and threw that in an indictment. Oh yeah, and tax evasion. They didn't have them. They never were saying tax evasion. Nope. And it's one of those things about what we said about moving the goalpost. They keep moving the goalpost for this dude. Like, hey man, okay, if it's a tax evasion joint, like, why is it taking 3 years? Give me that, like, give me my court date. I'll go say my piece before court. I'll present my work. You know, I'll pay the back taxes and I'll move on with it. Yep. This is where I'm going to end, and I'll leave it to you. It's the Ja Rule Murder Inc. thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, after years of freezing their assets and refusing and not allowing them to do business in music, they said Irv Gotti funded a drug ring through the likes of Kenneth Supreme McGriff, the OG. And when they knew that they couldn't prove that, and then they found, because they assumed that these two black kids from Queens couldn't have made all this hundreds of millions of dollars legitimately by just doing business in this industry. They assumed that the drug dealer that they knew, the OG, was funneling the money and putting the money up. But when that investigation stalled and they realized that Irvin Lorenzo Gotti is one of the greatest minds to ever touch the music industry, and they realized the artist that he's responsible for breaking, and they realized the millions of records sold and the platinum hits and the pop records, they came to him the morning before trial and they said, hey, cop to the money laundering. We'll give you 4 days. Time served. You can keep your music catalog. You can keep your business. You can keep your hundreds of millions of dollars. Because it wasn't about them. It was about Kenneth McGriff. And Irv Gotti is always going to be one of the realest to me because he told them niggas to eat you know what. And then went to court and beat them anyway. Mm-hmm. Okay? This situation, same situation, bro. Same situation. You know what I mean? Like, you have a kid from Philly that found a loophole in these billionaires' scheme to rob poor people. Because what he was giving you for $14.95,
they're giving you for $180.
They're giving you for damn near a couple $100 a month. Right? And he was providing that service, and he was doing it legally. It's no different than when they poach other small-time creators, right? And they didn't like that they took an L at their own game. So they threw the book at this cat, thinking that he was just a hog. They thought he was just a dumb one in the scheme, and realized, no, he's the mastermind of creating this company, and there's nothing illegal. So now they throw the money laundering. They couldn't do the money laundering. They threw the tax evasion, and now he's going to get his day in court. And what he mentioned that was interesting to me is he said, yeah, now I'm back bigger than ever. I've been begging them for a court date, me and my lawyers. They don't want to go to court. He's like, I've been begging for this day because now I can sleep. Now I know there's some end to this shit. I'm not stressed out and depressed every day. He said, I mean, what they don't realize is when they do this to people, you mess up their lives. And you have to treat this young black brother like the millionaire that he is. And if you give because we give millionaires preferential treatment in this society. Right. So they were these, like he said, what do these cops and DA agents make? $70K a year? They're mad when they walk in and I got 13 cars that cost over $400,000 each before they came off the lot and went to the detail shop and got customized. I got $1 million cars parked out here, nigga, that they confiscating. You think they're happy about that? I'm a high school dropout. These billionaires that have CEOs that are on salaries of a couple $100K a year, maybe they make $1 million with their severance package. They're mad that I've tricked their system and their sales is down and streams is down, and they're gonna miss their quarterly bonus or get replaced. And there's some kid like me out here doing. They get mad at that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So nobody's mad at the streaming services for robbing artists. Nobody's mad at record labels for saying that they're going to own the masters of someone else's recordings or the songs they created. Hey, man, if we're free enterprise country, that means that if I create a song and we do a hit together, when I'm ready to move, my song goes with me. Right? But it's only when it's the little guy that comes up. And let's take race out of it, because they did the same thing with old boy, excuse me for not remembering your name, but the kid from Napster. Now streaming is it. They tried to put him in prison. They took billions of dollars from him for creating streaming and called it piracy. Hey, man, if that's piracy, what is digging up ancient black people's graves? You ever notice we don't ever dig up old white people? We let them rest. That's just weird to me. I don't know. But I was going to jump on this Tim Scott shit. Did you see anything about that thing? It's like, I don't even want to waste my breath. I'll say this. Tim Scott.
Well, fuck you.
You had one job, bro. You're a black Republican man, the only one left in an elected position. You're the only black person in the Republican Party. And you're the one person that stopped black American boys from being protected under the guise of the federal law from racial profiling and police brutality.
Well, fuck you.
Fam, if you can sleep with yourself and look at yourself in the mirror with that,
Kill yourself.
Hey, relax.
I know.
But if you can do that,
Can I tell nigga go play in traffic?
go play in do what you gotta do. Go play in traffic,
my
fam.
nigga.
Hey, and since we on that way, all I'm saying is to all them gangster niggas and shit, them killers, man, them body cap killer, all them dudes, hey, man.
Y'all go play in traffic too.
Get your mans, man.
Get your man.
Shit. You want some clout, nigga?
Go get your mans.
Y'all want some clout? Go get him.
Zimmerman or him.
Go get him. It's over for Zimmerman. Y'all took that L already.
Yeah, I took that L.
Y'all took that L already. But yeah, man, go get that boy, cause
fuck.
I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Shit, I got nothing left, man. It's been a pleasure.
Looks like that's another episode of the Always
Talking Shit show.
I'm your host, Talkin.
Your boy Keem Sincere, man.
New Always Talking Shit show.
Hey, man.
No, I'm telling.
Stop telling. Stop snitching, nigga.
He ain't doing nothing.
Stop snitching.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know what I just.